All right, all right, all right. Let's make sure we're going live. Are we live? Are we live? Let's make sure. Oh shit! I didn't even check my my microphone. Let's make sure the microphone's working. Check, check, check. All right. All right, microphone's working, speakers working. We're live. We're gonna start this off a little differently. We're gonna start this off with a different kind of intro. I'll see y'all in a minute. Peace out, Girl Scout.
Such a nasty one.
Hillary Clinton's going to be a horrible president.
Every time I think about Trump, I get allergic.
Oh!
Hey, when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Y'all ready for this? Poor guy, you got to see this guy. Oh, I don't know what I said. I don't remember.
I would imagine it can only get worse.
They're bringing crime. They're rapists.
But we have some bad hombres here, and we're going to get them out.
And some, I assume, are good people.
But we're going to build a wall. Who's going to pay for the wall?
And I think you can see I'm having a good time. I really am.
Rosie O'Donnell's disgusting. I mean, both inside and out.
You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs,
Take a look at her. She's a slob.
slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account...
Only Rosie O'Donnell. Like you wouldn't have your job if you weren't beautiful.
They're worried about my tone.
Oh, look at my African-American over here. Look at him.
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States.
USA! USA! Wow. Don't worry about that, baby. I love babies, so... I like it! What a baby! Actually, I was only kidding. You can get the baby out of here.
And you like all her choices, or you're like, what?
No, not all her choices, but tonight I like it a lot. She looks great.
If I get there, I may supersede.
I think you will. I think you will. Pocahontas. That's this Elizabeth Warren. I call her Goofy.
And ISIS now is building a hotel in Iraq. They're competing with me. Do you believe it? France, if you had 25 people in there that had guns, okay, it would have been a totally different story, folks.
If Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know?
Oh, it's so weird. Stop. You know what? You are sick.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Immigrants on the whole
Come on, try getting it out. Try getting it out.
I'll get it out.
I mean, I don't know if you're going to put this on television, but you don't even know what you're talking about.
I never attacked him on his look, and believe me, there's plenty of subject matter right there. That I can tell you.
But Jake, did you ever see a sign that says Jeb Bush or Bush? Now, there's a reason he doesn't use his last name, because it's not going to work too well. Because we had a lot of problems with that last name. They said to Marco Rubio, are you having fun? He's sweating like a pig. I never saw a guy sweat like this.
You got to get out there November 8th. I don't care how sick you are. Vote for Donald J. Trump. Very simple. Very simple.
All right, all right, all right. Some old school Trump action, and now to commemorate our victory, let's go back to an old classic. For my personal pick for press secretary, Alex Jones. Let's do this.
Company store, the paradigm of absolute control. And that's why we're just out here doing simple things, pointing out that we're meant to be in nature and be natural. And this is where we find the source that God made to transcend the New World Order. And that's why they want to try to keep us out of it.
I'm angry. I've had enough of these people. They're a bunch of Christian murderers, scum. They're on giant death factories, keeping babies alive. They're selling their body parts. What more do you need to know about these people? I go out and face these scum. They literally crawl out from under rocks. They have green looking skin, and they run around screaming, we love Satan, we wanna eat babies. I have them on video. Hillary's in the creepy, weird, sick stuff, man. She sleeps in the same room with that creepy, weird woman whose mother wears a hood over her head. What the hell? That woman number one is ugly. Imagine how bad she smells, man. I'm told her and Obama just stink. Obama and Hillary both smell like sulfur. Literal vampire. vampire pot belly goblins are hobbling round coming after us. My spirit gets close to that evil and I feel it go. We're such self-centered crap, we don't even notice hell itself rising up against us. Millions of pointed people of the very worst type, and I'm so pissed. We're gonna stab your daughter at the mall. We're gonna stab your wife, your son. We're gonna stab you with a butcher knife, and then the police chief is gonna say, we love our Somalis, we love our Muslims. Oh, they're so good, oh, they're so sweet.
Let's go, dude. Let's fucking go. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Exposing Powerful Lies. Sorry for the language. Welcome, everybody. It's a good day. It's a good day in the neighborhood. It's a good day in the 100-acre woods. Bye-bye, Somalis. Bye-bye. Go home. Oh, it's good, man. Moment of salute, moment of tip of the hat, moment of nod to all of the people who are fighting in the trenches with us. Big salute to Alex Jones. Thank you, Alex. I do hope that he has some sort of direct line to Trump in this administration. Honestly, I would love to see him as press secretary. I saw Candace Owens say that today. And, I mean, honestly, there is no better person for it. Except for maybe, I mean, I could say Tucker would be a good press secretary, but Alex would blow him out of the water. I mean, that would be the most viewed, press conferences ever. Ever. Would love to see a stop to what's happening, to the shutdown of InfoWars, but that's just not going to happen. It's a civil case, and I just don't see how Trump could influence that at all. If you guys don't know, the shutdown of InfoWars is coming very soon. It's a shame, but oh well. I mean, the dude's taken so many shots from the enemy, and he just keeps going, and he absolutely was instrumental in 2016 and 2020. Shout out to everybody that was fighting. We all have our differences, you know. I'm not the biggest Joe Rogan fan, but shout out to Joe Rogan for doing his part, and Elon Musk and all these people. I can finally go back to dissing on him and hating on him and not not cheering for him because, my goodness, dude, I can't stand Joe Rogan. I really can't. The dude is such a freaking doofus, man. Saw him the other day talking with Fat Gay, or as he's called, Tim Dillon. I call him Fat Gay. I saw him talking. He's like, women just don't want people telling them what to do with their bodies, man. That's the Republicans' biggest problem. It's like abortion. Why, dude? Why? And then he was making fun of Tucker for talking about his demonic experience. Tucker thinks that demons are real. Tucker thinks that demons created nuclear weapons. And they're sitting there hucking it up and laughing, dude. Joe Rogan is such a retard, bro. Like, the guy is retarded. So, salute to you. Thank you, Joe. Unsubscribing now. Never going to watch again. But thank you. I appreciate it. I very much appreciate the work that you've done. I very much appreciate Elon Musk. I'm watching you. You better not put any brain chips in people's heads. But for now, he's won me over. For now, I can say that he has my full confidence to fire people and, run this government efficiency board. I would love to see that happen. I would love to see, I've never read Project 2025, but, if what the liberals say is true, there's a bunch of stuff in there that would create a bunch of issues. But the part that I do know about firing all of these federal judges and federal appointees, Trump should absolutely do that now. He should fire all of them, replace them with loyalists. Let's rebuild the government in an image that's actually, reflective of the will of the American people. That would be lovely. Yeah, so I unsubscribed from him a long time ago. I resubscribed just to catch the Trump interview when it came out, and actually, let's go do that now. let's go do that now. Hang on. All right. Joe Rogan Experience. Thank you, Joe. Goodbye, Joe. All right. It's done. Beautiful. Beautiful. Guys, I'm in a very good mood, but of course, we're going to talk about the future. We're going to talk about, reality. Get some reality pills going. I hopped into Jay Dyer's chat yesterday for about 5 minutes, and I saw him talking about, the limitations of the presidency. It's a very real thing, and then of course, the Trump proofing that they've talked about doing before old Joe leaves office. We did it, Joe. Joe, we did it. We did it, Joe. So they're probably going to monkey wrench as much as possible. What's going on, Alex? What's going on, Thomas? What's going on, Slowboy, Jethro, Crispy Johnson, Mella, Homeboy, Mella, Homegirl, Mella? What's up? What's up to all the lurkers in the chat? Thank you all so much for being here. Bye-bye, Tampon Tim. What's up, Randy? What's up, KF? Yo, what's going on? What's going on? All right. Well, let's start off with this beautiful article that was written the day of or before Election Day. Imagine what 1 year of a Kamala Harris presidency could be. So this woman, Amy Allison, is the kind of woman that you would see on TikTok right now talking about how she's not going to sleep with men for the next 4 years, and thank God for that. This thing here wrote an article 3 days ago imagining what 1 year of a Kamala presidency could be. It's I saw this about a couple of minutes after Trump was announced the victor. So I read it, happily, and we're going to do that now. Beautiful. Amy Allison, the founder of She the People, imagines a future with Kamala Harris as president. So right there, She the People, we know who we're dealing with, okay? This column is a part of Huffington Post's She the People series. Stories by black women exploring Kamala Harris's historic candidacy. I mean, is this black? This don't look black to me. I think she might be like a quarter black, but I don't know. Imagine with me, it's January 2026, 1 year since we inaugurated Kamala Harris as president. We are celebrating America's quarter millennial and the progress we have made since the founding of America 250 years ago. Our everyday lives are better, and we have entered a golden era. So you see, the projection from these people does not just go to the evil that they attack us with, that they are a part of, that they do. But the projection is actually they want to take what we could create and say that they also are going to create it, which we all know is BS. They think that Kamala Harris would usher in a golden era. Yeah. Inflation is down thanks to Harris's economic plans. We have legal abortion protections. Look at that. Number two. This is all these people care about. We now have resources for our aging parents and grandparents, affordable prescription drugs, and Medicare to cover home health care costs, giving elderly Americans the ability to live with dignity. I was amazed that they kept this up. Honestly, I was afraid they were going to delete this article once they found out that she lost, but I'm happy to announce that they kept this copium up. The national minimum wage is now $15 an hour. That's terrible. Okay, number one, I mean, ignoring all the problems with raising the minimum wage. Like, $15 an hour now is nothing. In 2026, after a year of economic just collapse, like, that's not a good thing. Changing the prospects for millions who had been laboring for $2.13 an hour in states like Louisiana, or for the federal wage of $7.25. Federal vote. So who's then waging for $2.13 an hour then, if it's federally $7.25? Are you talking about illegals? Like, what are we talking about here? Federal voting rights are protected and restored, meaning that they gave a bunch of illegals the right to vote. Assault weapons are illegal. That's not a good thing. Nobody wants that. And we finally experience a drop in the gun deaths of young people. Oh, yeah, like, you mean like in Australia where, gun violence is up like crazy, but nobody's allowed to own a gun? Right. The White House celebrates immigrants from all over the globe and provides a pathway to citizenship for those who have been contributing to this country for years but have lived in fear of deportation. Dreamers have hope of gaining an earned pathway to citizenship. These people haven't been laboring in this country for years. These people literally just showed up and they've been getting a handout. Okay? Nobody's been laboring in this country for years that they're trying to give citizenship to. There's literally caravans of people coming in. Millions and millions of people who just got here with their frickin' hands out. And they talk about like they've been like working in the salt mines, you know, for 50 years over here, just begging for, you know, government health care or something. Like, get the hell out of here. Jerry, we need an old-fashioned cringe stream with all the new Trump meltdown fodder. Interesting. See, I thought you guys wouldn't want that. Because, like, all I've been seeing today has been that. Right? Like every conservative, you know, content creator has been putting out those videos. So I figured I wouldn't actually play those because, you know, it's everywhere. But if you guys want it, I will absolutely bring some up because it has been peak. I mean, absolutely amazing. And you got to wonder, like, are people doing this for the views? Like, because some of these are just so over the top that you almost have to think like, I don't even know if this is real. Like, I know there are really people that retarded out there, but I feel like some of it is just so much that it's hard to imagine it actually being real. So basically, yeah, of course. And then they have a link for Dreamers where it's a puff piece about how amazing, you know, where they lick the boots of immigrants. Mainly, though, we feel better as Americans, as people. There is a new horizon of possibility for the collective welfare and good governance and decency and respect for others. The overwhelming sense of dread is gone. The us versus them talk coming from leaders and found online has given way to new big ideas to build an economy that will outlast the climate crisis. We are building a country where everyone belongs and everyone can claim part of the American story. And banning books and attacks on trans people are no longer in vogue or accepted as normal behavior. Dude, these people are so retarded. Dude, they are literally utopian. Like everything that we always rail against, where we say, don't be a utopian, you know, don't try to build like this is what happens. This is people on utopian. Huge win. Dude, what's going on with our Wi-Fi right now, bro? It is so freaking bad. I don't understand. Why is our Wi-Fi so bad? It's been pretty good for a long time. And now it's just sitting at 1 bar like the whole time. I don't want this to be all laggy. Come on, man. Come on, man. Not the day for it. Thanks, Obama. Thanks, Obama, for giving us shitty Wi-Fi. I gotta see if there's something I can do about this. Hang on. Hang on. Take my phone off the Wi-Fi. My goodness, I gotta get a frickin' actual like cord to connect it. But so these people are absolutely going frickin' hog wild on the copium and on the utopian dreaming. Imagination is power in politics. Kamala Harris's presidency is possible first because we imagined it could be so. They manifested it. We are in a moment of expansive imagination for the future of this country, and we decided that we would not accept the dark declarations of Trump, but instead have created a fate of our own making. I am so grateful that there are enough people in this country that don't follow their insanity, that this is not reality. I'm so grateful that these people got to come up and say deserved and are no longer in power. Hopefully the Congress comes in set for us, but you know, we did go through this in 2016. Hopefully there's not a Paul Ryan like figure to derail us once again. And I, for one, am just glad to be done with politics for a little while, because oh my God, dude, I am so sick of it. So basically, election night for me was trying to distract myself from any news, not checking my phone. I mean, I didn't check my phone all day or all night, you know, like I didn't want to follow along. This is the culmination of a 10-year emotional roller coaster ride that I've been on. since basically 2015, about 8 years, 10 years, almost a decade of supporting Trump, going through all of this. And I know there's many of you, in the audience that have done the same, that has been on this emotional roller coaster ride. And this was the very finish line, and I couldn't follow along. I know a lot of people, stayed up all night watching and wanting to hear how it went, but I couldn't do it. I did it in 2020. I did it in 2022. I did it in 2016 and 2018. I couldn't do it this time. It was too important. It was too high stakes. And honestly, it was just, I didn't have a lot of hope. Like, I was confident, but it was one of those things where, like, yeah, in a just world, obviously he would win it. It wouldn't even be a question. But this world is not just. I mean, this is such a corrupt country. I could have easily seen them steal it and the GOP just roll over and show their bellies, and that be the story of the world, And so I was just, honestly, I had so much anxiety. I spent the entire day in prayer. I played a game. I wasn't, I wasn't asking. I told everybody, please don't tell me how it's going. Please don't message me. I just want to know at the very end, did he win or did he lose? And so I ended up being up till like 7 in the morning, regardless of the fact that I wasn't following along. I wasn't watching any of the live stream coverage. And then finally, at like 3 in the morning, my girlfriend messaged me in all caps, "Can I please tell you who won, please?" I'm like, all right. So I could tell just by the message. I knew it was good. Weight lifted off my shoulders. It was surreal. Contrast that to 2016, where I went to sleep thinking there's no chance that he's going to win. There's absolutely no chance. I mean, I would love to see him win, but there's no chance. Waking up, that was one of the most surreal experiences of my life. Just, it took a while for it to, sort of like settle in that it was real. This go around was a little different. Obviously I'm relieved and I'm happy, but there's definitely like a closure for me where I'm like, I'm so sick of politics, man. I'm so sick of all of this stuff. I really just wanted my grandmother and my family to be able to live in a town where we don't have Venezuelan street gangs and, chuck roast that costs $16 a pound or whatever. It's like I just want a safe and orderly community. That's all I care about, dude. I really don't care about anything else. I want to focus on God. I want to live my faith. I want to try to be a light for Christ in the world. And, politics is just so frustrating and ugly and annoying and disappointing. And so I was very grateful when I saw that he won, so I could sort of check out and be like, all right, I already know what's coming. I already know that the media has not learned their lesson, that the establishment has not learned their lesson. I already know they're going to try to infiltrate his cabinet. They're going to try to monkey wrench everything he does. They're going to try to slow walk everything he does. They're going to hit us probably, depending on what the next 2 years looks like, they're probably going to hit us with something like COVID again. They're going to do whatever they can to derail, distract, and destroy. And so, thank goodness that Trump doesn't have to worry about re-election, because he needs to deal a death blow to these people. They have never been so weak, which is why I think there is a good chance that they won't hit us with a COVID-like false flag constructed chaos. I think it really does depend on what like the next 2 years looks like. How angry is the left? How big is the left, and how powerful are they? That's going to determine it, because I don't think that they have the energy or the motivation or the public support like they did in 2016. Even though we're seeing all of these videos of people melting down and freaking out, you can just feel it in the air. I mean, nobody really liked Kamala. Everybody just didn't like Trump, and there wasn't even enough of them to win. But there are a crap ton of them, and that was one thing I heard Jay talk about was, almost half the country is, completely just brainwashed. I can't even think of a better word. It's just they've been emotionally manipulated, abused by the system, and molded and socially engineered to be like the perfect peasant, neo-feudal slave class, and it's really sad, dude. It's really sad, which is why I said on our last stream, it is up to us. Like, as Christians, it is up to us to live our faith and to create that ripple effect that's going to, at the very least, raise the godliness of this country somewhat. Your prayers every night for this country, for the people in this world, for our enemies, are so important. You living your faith and being this beacon of love and goodness for your neighbor and loving of your enemies is so important. And it does have a real change, and it does have a real impact on people. And so the cultural change that we so badly want to see, it has to come from us. It can't come from the elected officials. It can't come from the leaders. They are followers. They do what is popular. That's the whole pushback against the abortion pushback that they were given to Trump. It's like, abortion is so popular. It's a big issue. Like, that's not Trump's fault. That's our fault. It's our fault that the people are so gross and degenerate that the murder of infants is like the number one most important thing. Here in New York, Proposition 1 did pass, and it passed 62%. The Equal Rights Act. The act that can persecute Christians as a hate group for not accepting LGBTQ, not accepting abortion. There's just a whole bunch of nastiness. Kids can transition without their parents' consent. Women are basically... they don't exist anymore in New York State. The title woman is just arbitrary. It doesn't mean anything. So men can enter into women's sports and women's spaces legally. And it's really, really bad. And yes, John, as soon as my grandmother goes to Jesus, I'm going to be out of New York too. I can't stand New York. I've wanted to leave. I did leave a long time ago, and I've got to leave again. So we got Solzhenitsyn here. What's going on, homie? Support Trump from Serbia. Make Kosovo Serbia again. God bless my Serbian brother. Good to see you, my friend. Yeah, New York is just terrible. New Hampshire is one of the options for me, but Florida's probably gonna take the cake. But maybe we'll do New Hampshire. Kids can't transition. No one can transition. It's just drugs and surgery. Nothing changes you to the opposite sex. I agree. I mean, I absolutely agree. But in New York State, they don't. And 62% of people either are insane or retarded or both. And so, glory to God, because as I told my godfather, I probably will not achieve the kingdom of God without being thrown in the gulag before the end. So God knows what I need better than I do. And so if they do persecute Christians for praying at Planned Parenthood or any of the other stuff that we do, then glory to God, because I just don't see how somebody so sinful as I could ever achieve theosis. And so, glory to God for all things. That's really my message, and that was going to be my message if Trump lost, which is God gives us what we need and not what we want, right? And so I was preparing all day for a Trump loss. I was mentally preparing myself. I was telling myself, it's over. Kamala won, just trying to soften the blow. Because in spite of all of my prayer and in spite of all of my, internal attempts at maintaining peace and composure, I had a pit in my stomach and an anxiety over my head that was there. I didn't focus on it, and I kept, like I said, praying and distracting myself and doing everything I could to not worry or think about it. But it was there, and I was like, ugh. So what am I going to tell people, if he loses? And it was, God gives us what we need and not what we want. And that's really important to keep in mind, because most of the time what we want is not what's good for us. And most of the time what God gives us is painful, but it's what saves us. Jerry, so was I, dude. I was like, it's so over, we're so cooked. I know, dude, I know. Been seeing lots of criticism of Mike Pompeo on X. Hopefully Trump listens this time around. He freaking better, dude. That is the most concerning thing, is this Mike Pompeo stuff. But having people like not Joe Rogan, Elon Musk, Tucker Carlson, what's his name, Vivek Ramaswamy, all these people that at least speak a good game and know what they're talking about, having all these people, RFK Jr. around him, I just don't see Mike Pompeo being selected unless Trump really is that stubborn and he's like, no, he's my friend. He's my friend. And that's why I said in the beginning, I have no, like, confidence in Trump as a astute enemy of the New World Order. I just don't. He has my full confidence that he's going to do the best he can, that he's going to try his best, that he's going to fight with everything he's got in him. He has my full confidence. But I just don't. I don't see him as this like true opposition to the enemy, who like knows his enemy well. Hopefully he does. Hopefully he's well aware. But you know, I don't have a bunch of hope. My hope is in God, and I just hope it all works out. And that's why I said I'm going to kind of check out of politics as much as possible, because I want to be off the roller coaster. You know, punished Bannon. That will be Barron. Yeah. Barron Trump seems great. I am happy that Bannon is back as well. His press conference was amazing. Waiting for the cabinet to he's I09'd. I don't know what that means. I can't read that. Yeah. So you guys want to see some meltdowns? We can watch some meltdowns. I do have a bunch of things that I want to talk about. I wanted to do this stream yesterday, but I got distracted and then forgot I was supposed to stream, and then 11:30 came and I was like, wasn't I supposed to do a show today? So I apologize about that. So now I got to do the exposing powerful lies thing, where I try to remember what I was going to say, and hopefully we'll get some of it back. All right, let's pull up some meltdown action here. Let's see. Ah, crap, hang on. Give me a second. YouTube. Well, we got Mark Dice here. And then I did see Paul Joseph Watson also posted some meltdowns, so let's check this out.
Should we take a look at some more of the feminist liberal meltdowns? I think we shall.
I'm f***ing feral today. Feral! If you see me, keep walking. Do not make eye contact.
And this is the thing, dude. I love that there really is justice in the world, like hard encoded into reality. That if you're a freaking nut job, like it's just plain for everybody to see. Every serious person, every rational person can just see craziness and insanity. Like physiognomy is a very real thing, and that is just hard-wired, hard-encoded justice. You know, it's a beautiful thing. It really is.
Do not square up at me. Don't act like you know me.
I don't want to know you.
Like, I want to eat... Like, maybe they voted for Kamala, but, like, I want to eat them.
I will eat my neighbors.
Like, I want to take a bite out of those glutes in a bad way.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is...
Good point. Why is Pompeo bad? Pompeo is like Hillary Clinton's pick for... So he was the head of the CIA. I'm not a Pompeo expert, and that's one of the things that's like, maybe Trump knows something we don't. That is a possibility. Slight, very small possibility, okay? If the guy's the head of the CIA, that's enough right there to say, you can go, all right? He's not currently the head of the CIA, but he was. He's somebody that is just a establishment, sort of rhino establishment, Warhawk type Republican from everything I know about him. I would say if you want to know why Pompeo's bad, go to Jay Dyer, because I think Jay or somebody like even like Dave Smith, like who I'm not a big Dave Smith fan at all. I can't stand libertarians, but like these people would probably be able to explain it better than I could, because I just don't care enough to look into him, you know, really go deep into some rabbit hole. But for me, he was the head of the CIA under other presidents. Like, he can go, you know, suck an egg.
There's a blue bracelet that we need to wear, because I want to make sure that nobody ever thinks that I am one of.
Did he?
The apparently majority of white women.
If he did, that's big if true. Did he really? Big if true.
For Donald Trump. I do not want you ever to think that I was one of them. So,
We can
is it
tell
a
by looking
particular
at you.
bracelet? Do we just make it ourselves?
I mean, who said it was bad to be anti-Iran? I mean, I'm not a fan of Iran. I'm not a fan of Iran. I'm not a fan of Israel. I'm not a fan of Palestine. I'm not a fan of really anybody.
Send me a link. What do we do?
I'm going to get drunk today, and I'm going to act like an angry black woman because I'm angry.
Okay, so now you have an excuse. What about every other day? What's your excuse then? My goodness, dude. I think she was drunk when she got those lip piercings. What is she looks like a Cenobite from Hellraiser, dude.
I'm mad. I'm upset. I'm angry as bro. I'm angry. I'm hurt. My feelings are hurt. We always finish last. We always come last.
The black people be keeping me down, dog. The white people be keeping the black brother down. Look at the Sublime poster in the background. Oh, she's a kid. She's just a child.
Body, even our own men. And you niggas,
You're listening to white boy reggae. What are you talking about?
Be black.
I'm so glad you guys got your cheap ass groceries and your cheap ass gas, because you're...
Yes, we don't want war with Iran, obviously. We don't want war with anybody. America has been at a constant state of war and proxy war for my entire life, and we have so much money invested in killing people. And in the military-industrial complex, we need to decouple from it. Honestly, like, I would love to see Trump, develop a portion of the military of loyalists. We need to stop history from repeating itself, where the generals lied to the president about pulling troops out of the Middle East and keeping them in there. He needs to, get the military really locked down, under his control. He needs to disband these intelligence agencies, release the Epstein client list. That is the one promise that we need to hold his feet to the fire about. Because think about Bill Gates, right? This dude who's just amassed fortunes, bought up our farmland, releases, billions of mosquitoes. He's got a fucking mosquito factory that he just pumps out the most deadly insect in history. Trying to block out the sun. The dude thinks he's Lex Luthor. Release the Epstein client list. This is what Trump should do. He should disband the FBI and the CIA in their current forms and rebuild them with people who have never even talked to an FBI agent or CIA agent. He should send them to Melinda Gates, or whatever her name is now that they're divorced. They should, use the Department of Justice, go after Bill and Melinda Gates, arrest Melinda Gates, pull her in a room and say, look, we don't want you. Okay, we know. Bill just wanted a nice, sweet lady face to be the head of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, so it wasn't Mr. Lex Luthor trying to raise money, but he's a family man. He's a loving husband. And so he used you as a pawn while going to Epstein's Island and raping children. We know you don't like that. We know you were just trying to help people. And so he picked this 7-foot-tall Amazonian Sasquatch to be the pretty mom face of his organization. But you need to work with us or you're going to jail for the rest of your life. Okay, we're going to just charge you with everything that he's guilty of because you knew and you were an accomplice. So we'll give you could keep the house, you could keep $1 million, you could ride off into the sunset with total immunity. You need to tell us what you know. And, seize all of Bill Gates' assets when he's arrested for being a disgusting cretin. Seize all of those assets and use it for the country's betterment. That, I think, could be done in my own utopian world, outlook. If that Epstein client list gets released, if we actually get to the bottom of it. And one of the things I really hope he does is go after the child traffickers. Those 300,000 missing children from this border fiasco, you need to look into it. He needs to actually get to the bottom. Where are these kids? Who took them? Jay and Tristan live in 3 hours. Nice, dude. Nice. Oh, now you stream. Yes, Moldy, yes. I did it to spite you. Gates is on the wrong billionaire team right at the moment. Absolutely. I mean, these people have never been weaker. The mainstream state-run media is just destroyed. They have absolutely zero influence on the majority of the American people and a stranglehold on a you know, slight minority of the American people, and so they've never been weaker, and they're going to lash out. They're going to try to Trump-proof the government as much as possible. Biden right now is trying to rush aid to Ukraine. He's trying to basically send them money and weapons before Trump gets in, so to make Trump weaker at the negotiation table. And they're going to, all over the place, they're trying to pass laws like Proposition 1 to basically codify and ensure that the federal government can't do anything to stop their insane woke policies. And so, you know, I don't know what can be done. I'm glad it's not my job. But it's just sad, man. It's sad that this is our country. Again, harkening back to my point earlier about how it's on us to try to influence our brothers and sisters and our fellow countrymen in a Christian way, and just pray that that people grow up and learn, because it is scary to think of all of the degenerates that exist in this country, and that they really are, you know, they have the same amount of power that you do under this system.
Broke as You're broke! You're broke! Broke! I said I'm being serious! You're broke!
I think the hardest part of all of this is just like thinking about all the men who were just like, the economy,
Get it out.
the economy, woman in my life, the economy.
Well, I mean, we have women in our life that aren't like you, and so we don't even have to worry about it.
Not okay.
That's amazing.
This is not okay. This simply will not do. And this is not okay. And I'm not good with this.
This will not do.
This is sick. This is sick.
This is sick.
That should not be there. And it's wrong. And you're wrong. And everything is wrong.
Why would anyone record themselves crying and then post it on the internet to share with the world?
Good point.
Notice there is a pattern amongst most of these. They tend to be young feminist women.
I always knew that America hated women.
Absolutely.
I knew America hated women, that we weren't seen, we weren't heard, we weren't valued. I knew American women hated women.
Oh no, when you walk down the street, honey, people see you.
I just did not know how much we were truly hated until this morning. This country, America, is a shithole. It's garbage. Talk about a floating island of garbage. Jesus
We're not an
Christ.
island.
You all would rather put a rapist and a felon in our White House. I hate all of you just as much as you hate us. You.
Trump is president, and I think all women should stop having sex for the next 4 years.
Absolutely.
In protest and protection.
Did you see that one tweet? It was like somebody was like, these freaking trad wife, lovers, these traditional men, let's give them what they want. No sex before marriage. That'll teach them. It's like, yes, exactly. You'll show us. You'll lead a godly life. That'll really show us.
Of your bodies. As we know, if that little baby...
Woman, if you could stop having sex, you would. But it's literally a physical impossibility for you because you're such a slave to your own lusts. So, I mean, I support the effort, but let's be real here.
Inside you gives you any trouble and you need an emergency health care, you're...
No, actually, those procedures are allowed. But it is a good idea for you and other women to close your legs until you're married. This guy added a...
They really do think that, like, what do they call it? Ectopic pregnancy is the same thing as just a woman choosing to kill her baby. Like, I've never heard of one person that is pro-life, anti-abortion, who says if the mother's gonna die, let her die. That's considered an entirely different procedure. It's not even considered an abortion. And honestly, like, I don't know how I feel about that. Okay? And that's not something I want to even think about. Because as far as I'm concerned, God's in control. I've got a very Jehovah's Witness mentality when it comes to medical stuff, where I'm just like, God's in control. I'm not in control of when I live or die. Obviously, if like my gallbladder is about to explode and I need to get it removed, like I will. But you know, I live a life of very much, you know, I'm in God's hands sort of mentality. So I wouldn't even begin to know my own stance on that. But as far as I know, all of the people who I respect and you know, consider to be, you know, smart and pious Orthodox Christians have all said that's a whole different thing.
Soundtrack to his cry-a-thon. What is wrong with you?
A fallen brother, dude. 07's for our fallen brother over here.
This one, I'm not sure if this is actually real or if this is just a troll.
No. This is 100% real. You can't fake physiognomy like this. Okay, I'm sorry, but like, unless she went through hours of makeup to make herself look like an insane feminist liberal nightmare, this is absolutely real because look at that face, dude. That is the face of a feminist liberal.
Making fun of these people or just doing engagement farming, but again, the fact that it's impossible to tell.
Well, it is engagement farming. There's only one reason why people would film themselves crying and freaking out, but she also is definitely real.
Proves just how insane these people are because
that is a
50-50.
schnoz on her.
This actually could be a legitimate woman who is recording herself telling her small children how terrifying it is now that Donald Trump has been reelected. Or it could be a troll just doing engagement farming. Who knows?
Harris did not win.
Who won?
Trump.
No.
So
they're hyperventilating.
Take a breath.
Yep.
Take a breath.
So today may look a little different at school. Okay, there are probably going to be friends who have questions, right? I'm sure your teachers are going to
still teach reading, writing, and arithmetic, and hopefully not tell the kids that fascist takeover has happened in America. If this is
okay, kids, we can't read The Hungry Caterpillar today because Hitler has taken power. So we're gonna do a drill. I'm gonna hand out wooden guns to all of you, and in the event of a Project 2025 implementation in our government, practice pulling the trigger on yourselves and others, please, kids, children. It's insane, dude. I mean, like, I really hope that, you know, critical race theory is banned in schools. I really hope that the gender stuff is removed from schools. You know, remove federal funding for any school that talks about trans stuff and all of this stuff. And actually, while we're on that subject, guys, if you want to support the channel, if you like what I do here and you want to support, please feel free to send in tips, super chats, donations to my today Project 2025 fund. All proceeds will go to feed a hungry, racist, misogynist, sexist, homophobe. So if you guys want to do that, links are in the chat and in the description. Thank you to everybody who does that. And I will read all super chats live on air. And also, before I forget, 07's to the guy who helped this campaign the most, Joe Biden himself. God bless you, brother. Thank you so much for helping us win. Because Joe really did come in clutch there at the end.
Video, and these parents are scaring their children like this.
Edward,
and then
that is the most retarded take ever. Okay? Like, no offense to you, because I have no idea who you are. But even just like a cursory look at that claim, you would know better. Trump was not good friends with Epstein. That's retarded. Have you looked into it at all? You see one photograph with Trump next to Epstein. Trump is good friends. He was best friend. Trump was closer with Ghislaine Maxwell than he was with Epstein. Trump literally snitched on Epstein. He literally publicly called him out as being a pedophile years before it was an issue. Like, that is so retarded, dude. My goodness.
Recording it and posting it online. They should be.
If you want to know more about that, you can check out Whitney Webb. Whitney Webb wrote a 2-volume book that is 1,000 pages long on Epstein. Okay, that's one book I really want to get my hands on. I've watched, 100 hours of interviews with her, breaking down all of this stuff in there, but I've never actually read the book itself. Yeah, he saw it on The Simpsons, heard it on MSNBC. Joe was our guy. He really was. It was amazing. But, Trump, when he was younger, had a relationship with Maxwell's father. What's his? I always want to say Jordan Maxwell. different Maxwell. Whatever that dude's name was. Crap. I forget. But basically, this stuff with Roy Cohn ended up getting blackmailed himself, and it was a whole seedy world, okay? Real estate in New York in the 70s was a nightmare, okay? It was a very dark business, a very dark period of time, very mafia-like mentalities. And Trump seems to be the squeaky cleanest person in that entire group, in that entire environment. They have tried taking him down. They have combed through his entire life and couldn't find a single thing that amounted to anything gross or really bad. Like, really bad. Like, we're talking about the stuff that, like, P. Diddy and Epstein and all the stuff that, if he was a part of, the entire Trump movement would disown him and disband. Okay? If there was even the slightest scrap of evidence that Trump was a pedophile or a child harmer in any way, MAGA would be over. And this is now 8 years, almost a decade, into a concerted effort to destroy him and to pull up any dirt they can, and they have found nothing. So while there is certainly stuff about his past that isn't sweet, isn't nice, isn't like, yay, that's great, he's not a frickin' pedophile. And I really hope he does just dump the JFK files, dump the Epstein files, let it all hang out there, because we need to know, and the American people deserve to know.
Arrested.
And it also would damage their frickin' power. It would damage these people's power so good. So he's got to do it, and I honestly think he will.
Blaming white supremacist Latinos and white people in general for Donald Trump winning, the media is honing in on Elon Musk buying Twitter because he allowed further discussions to occur there. Then in 2020, remember when they banned the Hunter Biden laptop story and locked out the New York Post and other major media outlets? So Russian disinformation was blamed in 2016. Now it's Elon Musk owning Twitter.
We have now let misinformation become the accepted information.
Well, that's why I'm here, trying to stop you.
It has washed over us. Elon Musk, he buys Twitter, and then he uses it almost exclusively to be a propaganda machine.
Says the propaganda machine. That's brilliant. Brilliant. Thank you to Blue Skittle. I haven't even seen Blue Skittle in the chat. Where are you at? Thank you so much, Blue Skittle. She sent in the first super chat of the day, $25. Thank you so much. It is the Winter Survival Fund. It helps keep me fed and alive during this 2-week period. And so thank you to everybody that supports the chat. But for today, we are calling it our Project 2025 Fund because we are going to ban abortion federally, make the gay illegal, go door to door. We're going to knock door to door and ask if any gay is happening so that we can throw you in jail for life. Abortion punishable by the death penalty. Project 2025 is here. We did it. Let's go.
And we've accepted it. We've accepted a narrative that despite an actually great economic recovery, the vibes don't feel good.
Oh, just the vibes of millennials and Zoomers not being able to own homes, rent skyrocketing, the cost of groceries and gas and everything else just through the roof. The trusted mainstream media has been telling us that the economy's great. I mean, what are you going to believe, them or your lying eyes? It must have been because Elon Musk bought Twitter.
And the person
Radix
we
Virum
are
in the
now
house.
betting on.
Yo, what's going on, Radix? Hey, Radix, did the documentary come out yet? Guys, Radix Virum, longtime friend of the channel. We did an interview with her 5 years ago now. Solid homie, but she's been working on a documentary about the Whitmer kidnapping hoax, right? Is that the entire focus of the documentary, or was it a little bit broader than that? You know, FBI abuse of power, things like that. So Radix, let us know in the chat the name of the documentary and if you guys have a release date or if it's already out. Plug your stuff so we can tell people. But yeah, Radix Virum, awesome homie. Glad to have you here.
To change all of it is Donald Trump a man who did two almost impossible things.
He survived the countless lawfare attacks you've been waging against him, and we were able to override Operation Mockingbird and convince the majority of Americans to vote him in. Ha ha ha! Too bad.
It would help if we could regulate.
That is huge too. I mean, like Operation Mockingbird, right? The control of mainstream media. It's just a beautiful thing that their power has been reduced to the point that they really can't brainwash the country into forcing an election win. That's amazing. Documentary, Kidnap and Kill, an FBI terror plot. Not quite done yet, but in post-production. Awesome, guys. So yeah, look up that right there, Kidnap and Kill, an FBI terror plot. Look it up. Follow it on the social medias. Follow Radix Virum, because I'm really looking forward to when that comes out. It's gonna be awesome. They are ass mad, dude. They're really, really butthurt. But it is a beautiful thing that the Mockingbird media was beaten. And really, you know, a lot of people today are talking about how democracy still works. Our republic still works. The system still works. Listen, we got a victory for one reason. Because this has been a 10-year roller coaster ride. Because we have all been on this roller coaster for so long that there has been such a groundswell of support after the persecution, the censorship, all the shit we've been through. Trump is literally the only person who could have beaten this system for that reason. So it's not a sign that like our country and our system is healthy. Okay, it literally was too big to rig, which I got to give it to him. When he first said that, I was like, I sure hope that's not the plan. Because that sounds terrible. Like, if that's our plan, too big to rig, like, obviously looking back, okay, it worked, but it was terrifying that he didn't have, like, a better system. But I do got to give it to the Trump team, Laura Trump and all those people. They were, you know, pushing for poll watching. They really did a lot of work to try to catch voter fraud, and they did catch voter fraud. And so, you know, you're not a girl. Blue Skittle, I've been calling you a girl for a long time. I thought you actually corrected me once when I called you a he. So now I don't know what to believe. This is fake news, and I'm personally offended. So you're now a Zer from here on in, as far as I'm concerned.
Social media, because one of the biggest offenders is DC and Congress have not been able to do one thing in regard to the rogue corporations of social media.
It's not going to get any better with Elon Musk now in the administration.
She means the Democrats in Congress haven't been able to repeal the First Amendment yet. Well, too bad. And now would be a good time to save 20% off of your Teflon Don shirt, your MAGA Mafia shirt, or any of my awesome designs. Mark that.
All right, enough with the plug. So Theta Zord, we are going to be doing that. We're going to do a chill stream radio show soon. I've basically, because I listen to those radio shows every day, usually at night. I'm chilling on the porch, and I listen to old radio shows, and I'm always looking for ones that would be good for a chill stream. So, you know, I might, if I can't find any, I might just do random ones, you know, and we'll hang out one of these nights at like midnight and kick some radio stuff, or even watch like old movies and stuff. So that is coming back. So, you know. Oh man, Jerry leading us astray. Leading us astray, maybe. Maybe. But yes, no, we are going to be doing the radio stuff, so look forward to that. Thomas Henderson, shout out. Dude, what's going on? Send in $25. Thank you so much, Thomas. Seriously. Here's my $25 contribution to the Project 2025 fund. Stay warm, my friend. Well, thank you, and God bless you, brother. I really do appreciate that. And, yeah, I am raising money for Project 2025. Basically going to try to gather up a gang of thugs to go door to door and make sure that there are only heterosexual relations happening in our neighborhood and community. Now that Emperor Trump has been elected, we can be just the most egregious homophobes and racists ever, because the liberals said that's what we are, and so naturally it must be true. So shout out to Toledo. What's up? She sent in an $11 super chat. Thank you so much, dude. That's awesome. Jerry, it's been so wonderful seeing all your hard work over the past few years. You're always keeping it real. A beautiful man with a beautiful heart, with a zeal for Christ, and a thirst and fight for the truth. God bless you. Thank you. That was really sweet. Thank you so much, Toledo. And truly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you to all the audience who have been with us and been on this roller coaster with us, not just with the election, but with just all, the culture war, whatever, the spiritual war. I wouldn't be here doing this without you guys. If I was just talking to myself all day, I would never want to do it. And so I truly appreciate you and, your support and your fight. And it's always an honor. And it's, it helps me too. And so thank you. Sincerely. Thank you. And we got John Connor up in the house. Sends a $2 super chat. Thank you, brother. Seriously. For frankly, Jerry, we are so back, dude. We are so back, bro. Radix Virum sent in a $15 super chat. Thank you, Radix. Wow, that's unexpected and really appreciated. Thank you so much. God bless you, sincerely, and I do hope that you and the hubby are well. And thank you for fighting and for all that you've done over the last 5-6 years that I've known you. Sincerely, thank you. All right, so we can pull up one more. We can pull up one more meltdown video. I'm trying to remember because there was quite a few things that I wanted to get to the other day, and trying on the fly to remember. Let me see if I did write down any notes. I don't think I did, but let me check my notes here and see if I did mark anything down to remind myself. Power. Oh, I did. Yeah, the Senate seats. It looked like they're flipping some of the Senate seats that we won, so that's lame. Abortion referendums. So the vast majority of states that had abortion referendums on the ballot passed. Notably, Florida didn't, but most states that voted on abortion passed it, which is just sad. It's incredibly sad, and it's incredibly heartbreaking, and it makes me very, I don't know, just bummed that that's the state of our country. And as I've said multiple times now in this show, sorry, I gotta turn the notifications down here. As I've said multiple times on the show, this does come down to us. In your local churches, in your men's and women's groups, you should be organizing Planned Parenthood prayer vigils. Do an akathist. Do a malabin. Go to these places. Stand on public property and hold the prayer service with your priests, with your deacons, and with people. Even at your parish, if you do this, the other Orthodox parishes in your state, in your town, people will drive 3 hours to come and do these services with you. There is such a thirst and a hunger from the men, and especially the men and the women in our Orthodox churches, to want to do something about it, to want to pray for these unborn children, to want to outreach and talk to people. There's groups, there's organizations that you can support that pay for ultrasounds for pregnant women, but when you are standing there and doing a liturgical prayer service at the actual site, there's never been an experience in my life that was like that. It was terrifying, to tell you the truth. It was terrifying. And the devil just comes out and attacks you viciously. I've never been so demonically assaulted in my life. Even the times we've talked about here where I was literally attacked, you know what I mean, by a demon, clawing my throat out or sucking off of me back, what was that, 7 or 8 years ago now, when I was still into witchcraft and I had sleep paralysis and saw a demon, basically drinking, off of me. Even those did not compare to standing at Planned Parenthood and praying and just seeing the devil use people to attack you. It's just heartbreaking. It was incredibly heartbreaking. Grimsky, have you not heard those stories? I don't want to retell them because I've told those stories a million times, but the last live stream we did, you can go and check it out. I went through the whole story about that. But before I became a Christian, I was into witchcraft, and God basically lifted the veil for a moment and showed me that I was being, demonically assaulted. And at that time, I didn't even have the worldview to comprehend what it was. I knew it was a demon, but that didn't even stop me. I still continued on into the witchcraft, but shortly thereafter, I discovered the church, and God led me out of that darkness. And looking back, I can sort of see it for what it was. But and then as for being demonically assaulted, last time we talked about Tucker Carlson talking about getting scratched up in his sleeve by a demon, and I had 2 similar experiences to that as well. But yeah, we talked about that on the last stream. But at this Planned Parenthood thing, there was a woman who drove up and started screaming and honking her horn and just saying the most evil things that you could say to a priest and to a group of Christians standing there and praying. We were 50 feet from the building. We were standing on the road, like on the shoulder of the road across the street, praying and singing and chanting and holding, icons and signs and the censer and all of these things. And this woman just pulls up and just starts screaming, honking her horn. I would not repeat what she said, but the most demonic things just spewing from her mouth. And we had talked about it beforehand. If anybody comes up and does this, don't make eye contact. Don't react. Keep praying. Keep doing the thing. And unless we are about to be, in physical danger, to just, not focus on it. And so that's what we did. And it was very obviously that this woman was demonically, influenced just based on the things coming out of her mouth and the way she was acting. And then she drove away really fast and squealed the tires and then screamed and honked the horn, drove past. And then she came back and did it again. And then came back and did it again, like 50 times. I mean, this woman was losing her mind. And the realization that our life was in God's hands has never been more apparent. In all of my travels, in all of my near-death experiences, in all of the dangerous situations I've been in over my life, I had never felt so close to death before, honestly. And that, I know that sounds dramatic, and maybe it is, but that was my honest experience, was shaking and realizing, like, I could die right now. We're standing on the side of the road, and I know how dark it is when you are living without Christ, and how you can make a rash decision in an instant that obviously if you were thinking soberly, you would never do. But for example, let's say somebody's driving down the street and they see us, and they're full of hatred that's been fomented by this culture war and by the devil, and they think some demonic thoughts, and they just drive the car into us. It's not hard to see that scenario playing out. And so we're sitting there and doing prostrations, and we're praying and singing and chanting, and I just realized, like, yeah, like, we are completely in God's hands. Like, I might not get through this, and if I die, like, I am not. It doesn't look good. You know what I mean? Like, I need to repent. And so glory to God. And that's why we as Orthodox Christians pray for remembrance of death every day. We ask God, show us our sins. Teach us thy statutes. We want to know the rules. We want to know your law. We want to know our sins. We want to remember our death every day, because in that moment where the possibility of death is right in your face, the truth and the light is just, it's unavoidable. It's why, deathbed confessions happen, deathbed conversions happen. It's why people, when they're dying, there's nowhere to hide. The truth is just in your face, and you know who you are, and you know what you are, and judgment is coming. And so we pray for that every day, because when you're in that, all you want to do is repent. All you want to do is, beg for forgiveness, beg for mercy. Give me a chance to do better. Give me a chance to improve. And so, if you're not praying for that, add that to your prayers. Okay? Pray for remembrance of death and your own sins. I wrote a note that says, they will hire influencers and attempt to update Operation Mockingbird to the modern age. I think that that's probably in the future. I think that because Operation Mockingbird has lost its power, because the media landscape has changed so drastically, because alt media is the new media, Twitter is the new media, they're going to have to update. They're going to have to improve. The old model doesn't work anymore, which means that there's probably going to be far better con men and far better liars in the next 4 years come on stage. You know, the Brian Stelters and the Mark Cubans and these liars that they've got are just ineffective. And so, you know, the young guys, what's that one kid's name from Parkland who's always out there, you know, trying to grab guns? That generation and that type of person, I think, is going to get trained and really just handed the tools to be able to withstand 3-hour podcasts and be able to spin a yarn. They're going to find the topics and the issues that most Americans agree with, and they're going to use them to implant their evil and deliver it to us in ways that are harder to spot, harder to attack, and harder to break down. I think they're going to avoid outright lies because that just helped us so much in this campaign. They just lied. Bald-faced lied to the American people as if the internet didn't exist, as if Twitter didn't exist. And so, oops, lost the light. I think that's going to end up being the direction that it goes in. And they might even create or try to create, David Hogg, thank you. They might even try to create situations like where there's multiple major platforms. If they can get people who have millions of subscribers and who are willing to be bought out and willing to be compromised, they're going to try to create a network where, sort of like we had this campaign where we had Joe Rogan and we had all of these different, you know, major podcasters who were willing to sort of have honest conversations and promote common sense messages. They're going to try to construct that, but have it be just mainstream media number 2, you know, where they can basically put their people out there, have what appears to be honest and, you know, upfront conversations, but which are really just propaganda delivered in a way that's more masked and more cryptic. And so even though this does feel, and it is a victory for the truth and for honesty and you know, the voice of the people, I don't think it's necessarily going to stay that way for very long. Gotta head out. Have a good night, friends. Jerry, have a good night. Thank you for hanging. What's up, Maddie? Good to see you, brother. God bless you. Hope you're healing and feeling better, Maddie. Oh, was Maddie sick? Dude, well, God bless you, Maddie. I'll pray for you, brother. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Looks like they finally called the PA Senate race for Dave McCormick. Really? Yeah, they were talking about it's gonna take 3 weeks. It's gonna take 5 months for us to count the votes. Like I said months ago, if Trump does anything, I pray that he will improve our voting system. We need some federal standards. We need to get rid of, you know, voting machines. There needs to be an accurate count the night of the election, you know, one day after. I mean, if France can, you know, count and recount totally in one night, there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to do the same thing. And I heard that them introduced the word cool as a test of influence, really. We really need an overhaul of our system, and we need to have federal standards. You know, voter rolls should be purged yearly. You know, if you are dead or moved out, you need to be taken off, and that needs to be a federal rule. Okay, it's absurd that that's like something that they can fight against. It's absurd that you can't show ID in California. You know, I mean, these are insane things that need to be addressed. And if he does that, I think that, you know, as the church grows and as orthodoxy grows, I think we can really start to see a major impact on our culture and on our communities if we take our responsibilities as Christians seriously, if we live our faith, and if we actually are engaged in the system. As much as I am going to be taking sort of a break from politics and trying my best not to follow this stuff anymore for a little while, we need to be engaged in our local politics because that's where it really matters. And as Christians, there's nobody who is more important to be engaged. and involved. Our schools are not safe for our children anymore. I mean, you can't trust to put your kids in school at this point. And, that's on us, As much as I think, yeah, you should homeschool, there's people who, are not capable of doing it due to their own weakness or their own constraints. And so, that's something that needs to be worked on. But even if Trump's able to improve the election system, even if he's able to clean it up, it still leaves us with the fact that there is a large majority or a slight minority of this country that, their vote counts just as much as you, and they are freaking insane. And they have been manipulated and abused and gaslit. And so, as much as it would be nice to see them not be able to completely defraud the election, it's still kind of scary, even if it is accurate and an accurate count. So I think that that's something that needs to be addressed or should be addressed. Will it? I don't know. At the end of the day, I mean, you can only do you can only do so much. But it seems at this point that America has been granted a reprieve, that we have slightly more time to repent, and thank God for that. Let's pull up some more meltdowns here. We got PJW, homeboy. He's actually posted quite a few. We got leftist cry over Trump winning and leftist cope and seethe over Trump win. This one's only 2 minutes, so I guess we'll do this one first.
Adults.
Let's bring it on back.
Jimmy Kimmel had to fight back the tears.
For our allies in Ukraine, for NATO.
Imagine nearly crying over NATO. Oh no, not NATO.
And guess what? It was a bad night for everyone who voted for him too. You just don't realize it yet.
Yeah, we're just dumb, right?
Stupid, you don't realize it yet. Says the same Pratt who still doesn't realize that very sneering, condescending, elitist attitude is why so many Americans voted for Trump.
You just don't realize it yet.
Oh, but women!
It was a terrible night last night. It was a terrible night for women.
More women voted for Trump as a share of the demographic than last time. Am I out of touch? No, it's the majority of the voting population who are wrong.
You just don't realize it yet. Donald Trump, he's like the emperor from Star Wars. He's old, he's evil, and he keeps coming back with no reasonable explanation whatsoever.
75 million people just decided to randomly vote for Trump for no reasonable explanation. Just vibes, I guess.
No reasonable explanation.
Yeah, wild guess, Jimmy, but half of them being barely able to afford to put food on the table or fill up their car might have had something to do with it. Kimmel's fellow regime court jester, Stephen Colbert, was also on the verge of blubbering.
Hey there. How are you doing?
Great.
If you watch the show regularly,
I don't.
I'm guessing you're not doing great. Yeah, me neither.
Oh, that reminds me. One of the things I wanted to tell everybody is that we can never again allow these people to gain a stranglehold on the ability to influence our brothers and sisters. Now that mainstream media has been destroyed, now that celebrities have lost their influence, they have revealed themselves as the prostitutes that they are, we need to learn from this. We need to remember this. Do not forget, ever, that these people were so selfish, were so cowardly, and were so evil that they were willing to sell you out, to support people who flooded your towns and cities with rapists and murderers, because it benefited them or because they were scared of the consequences of their own blackmail coming out. Don't ever put these people on a pedestal again. Ever. Celebrity worship culture is disgusting. It has been far too pervasive in our society. And let's say the mainstream media learns from their mistakes and they fall in line and get back to real journalism because they know it's a losing what's the word? It's a losing, structure. It's a losing formula, and everything goes back. And it's just like we're just a prosperous country. There's not so much division. We can never again fall into this apathy where we put these people on freaking pedestals, dude. Ever. Again, whoever did, a vast majority of this country worships celebrities like they're saints. And it's just disgusting. And luckily, they weren't able to sway it this time. But, dude, I mean, like, if if all the people in your life are like us and are Christians and stuff, then it might seem like it's not a thing, but it really is. I mean, there are so many people out there that worship celebrities, dude, and who give these people so much power over their lives. And I truly hope that we grow up as a country and that people just do not give these people power anymore. Anybody who wants to serve you needs to be treated with suspicion and with analysis. You always need to have your guard up. If they're claiming to want to serve you, I want to report the news for you. I want to entertain you. I want to do something I want to lead you. Then you need to be analytical, suspicious, and you need to actually address and look at the facts around them and, test their fruits. And I really hope that we can move away from this culture of celebrity worship, dude.
Today,
I'm not surprised he's upset. The same clown who fronted this monstrosity.
Okay.
Is now coming to terms with Trump appointing RFK as his administration's health.
As his health what?
Czar.
Health czar. Okay, good enough.
There's a new trend on TikTok, and you're going to enjoy this one, of women saying they're going to deny men sex as punishment for voting for Trump. And as you'll see, nothing of value is lost.
Did we already watch this one, lady? One thing I wanted to show you guys. Check this out. I posted this on Instagram. What is happening here? Why did it pull up Pasha's freaking... I didn't click that. All right. So here is... Let me make the screen bigger. Here is some demographics of who voted for Trump. And as you can see, obviously we did win quite a bit of the black men. 23% of black men voted for Trump. 9% of black women voted for Trump. 45% of Latino men voted for Trump. Does that say 96? No, it doesn't. What, 6% of Latino women voted for Trump? So, yes, this is a victory because normally it would be a vast majority of these groups would vote for the Democrat. And even like with the blacks, obviously the blacks, the vast majority of them voted for Democrats. But even just that little chunk, almost 25%, helped us a lot. But 57% of white men voted for Trump, and 51% of white women voted for Trump. And I said, make no mistake, this is why they flooded your streets with illegals. Not because they care about them, not because they want to give them better lives, but because they need to dilute the voting power of America's native demographic. This is why you see so much hatred against white people, because the white demographic is a threat to their power, and that's all they care about. And I mean that. Make no mistake. They flooded your towns with rapists and murderers for one reason, because they knew that if they could get them to vote, they would vote for the people that were giving them handouts and treating them as a protected class and treating us, native-born Americans, as second-class citizens. They are terrified of white people. That's why they foment hatred against white people. Not because we need to band together as the white race and, all of this stuff, but because we are the native population in this country, and we need to protect ourselves, and we need to be in reality. And the truth is that they have waged a war on white people. Every freaking commercial is the white guy is an idiot. Every TV show, the white father is a doofus. All of these things, they are terrified of the actual demographic in this country, and that is the one reason. That is the one reason that they have done this. Never forget that. Never allow them to do this again, and never freaking ever let them make you ashamed of things you have no control over. As Christians, we don't have racial identity that's our, number one thing. And sadly, there is a lot of Orthodox Christians who have that. I'm looking at you, Greece. But at the end of the day, we're Christians. That's how we identify ourselves. But that doesn't mean that the reality of the situation is something to be ignored. We got a Made by Jim Bob raid up in the house. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Hey, you know what? Since y'all are new here, since y'all are just getting here, let's go back and do something that we did in the beginning, because This is just too good, man. This is a celebration today. And so let's go back and pull up. Let's pull up a song. Let's celebrate, y'all. Welcome, welcome. God bless you guys. God bless Made by Jim Bob. Good homie.
The paradigm of absolute control. And that's why we're just out here doing simple things, pointing out that we're meant to be in nature and be natural. And this is where we find the source that God made to transcend the New World Order.
We did it, Joe. We did it.
And that's why they want to try to keep us out of it.
I'm angry. I've had enough of these people. They're a bunch of Christian murderers, scum. They're on giant death factories, keeping babies alive and selling their body parts. What more do you need to know about these people?
I go out and face these scum.
They literally crawl out from under rocks. They have green looking skin and they run around screaming, we love Satan, we wanna eat babies. I have them on video. Hillary's in the creepy, weird, sick stuff, man. She sleeps in the same room with that creepy, weird woman whose mother wears a hood over her head. What the hell? That woman number one is ugly. Imagine how bad she smells, man. I'm told her and Obama just stink. Obama and Hillary both smell like sulfur. Literal vampire pot and the goblins are hobbling round coming after us. My spirit gets close to that evil and I feel it go. We're such self-centered crap. We don't even notice hell itself rising up against us. Millions of pointed people of the very worst type, and I'm so pissed. We're gonna stab your daughter at the mall. We're gonna stab your wife, your son. We're gonna stab you with a butcher knife, and then the police chief is gonna say, we love our Somalis, we love our Muslims. Oh, they're so good. Oh, they're so sweet.
Alrighty. I had to, dude. I had to. Welcome everybody from Made by Jim Bob. Welcome to Exposing Powerful Lies. We are an hour and 30 minutes in. We've just been hanging out. We've been talking about the future of this country and the campaign and everything. And, you know, it really is a celebration. I am so grateful. I'm so grateful that we pushed through all of the BS, all of the propaganda, all of the lies. And I'm so grateful to God because, as I told these people in the beginning, I spent the entire day in prayer. I was absolutely just praying that God would be merciful to this country, that his will be done. Am I in a tent? No, I'm not. I'm on a porch. That is a umbrella behind me that I use in the daytime to keep the sun off the camera. I'm chilling on my porch, so not in a tent. I have done a stream in a tent before, but I'm not. Alex is a great singer. Jork Crew. Make sure to subscribe. Yes, guys, please like, share, and subscribe. And we do have the Project 2025 fundraiser going on today. All proceeds go to a racist, misogynist, homophobe. And I will be, if I raise enough money, going door to door to make sure that no gay is happening in my neighborhood. So, absolutely. I was listening to Fox News as I worked out this morning, Alex. Yes. I was going to ask the same thing. No, I'm not. This is a freaking umbrella, dude. This is an umbrella. This is a wooden porch. But yeah, so we're just chilling, and glory to God, dude. Glory to God. I was at a protest during Spring of Life in Buffalo in 1992, and the anti-life side was terrible then. Yeah, they still are. So are you a Buffalo native as well? Because I am also a Buffalo native. And sadly, Proposition 1 did pass, and so it's disgusting. The way that they have influenced the people here to vote for things and support things that are just anti-Christian and anti-life in general. And so we have a responsibility as Christians to live our faith and to be beacons of light, to be beacons of Christ's light, and to influence the people around us and support our brothers and sisters in love, our friends, our enemies, our brothers in Christ. Love everybody, pray for everybody, and take that responsibility on yourselves to influence the people around you in a godly way. Because as I've said many times, it's not our elected officials' job to drive culture. They react to culture. They run on platforms that are popular, that can get them elected. And if we're degenerates, then we're going to get degenerate leaders. If we are ungodly people, then God is going to look the other way as our enemies take control of our country. And we're going to be like Israel in the Old Testament. You know, our enemies are going to rule over us and enslave us. And we're going to be second-class citizens in our own homeland. So we have to take that responsibility seriously to live godly lives and to put God first. And so please, people, please, the number one thing is always God, is always to live your faith and to repent and to be better men, better Christians. Have they turned the Wings gay in Buffalo yet? They've always been gay, bro. A little known fact, but the Wings have always been gay. It's fingers all day, dog. Fingers all day. Porch Ewok up in here, that's right. So let's get back to our regularly scheduled program of liberal tears and meltdowns. So let's do this. And yes, if you want to support the channel, all super chats will be read live. All super chats do go to feeding me and keeping me fed and all
Value was lost.
And I think all women should stop having sex for the next 4 years.
Yeah.
In protest and protection of your bodies. As we know, if that little baby inside you gives you any trouble and you need an emergency health care, you're fucked and you're gonna die. I think that is sufficient enough reason to stop having sex. Don't you agree?
Yeah, because I'm sure the offers were flooding in.
I personally think that if all of these men are voting to take our rights away, they don't deserve to touch a woman for the next 4 years.
Oh no. Anyway.
I have decided that my personal revenge for this 2024 election fiasco is to be a menace to men on dating apps.
Good. Get them off the dating
apps. I'm going to re-download probably, just Tinder and Hinge and match up every single man. Say I'm down for hookups. Give them a Google Voice number. Talk with them. Say, yeah, I'll come over. Yeah, I'm on my way.
Good, dude. Dating apps are the scourge of the world. All right, get off the freaking dating apps. Get to church. Talk to real women in your lives. Okay, get off the freaking phones. The number one advice, if we got any young men here today, okay? Any young men here? We have so many young men who are incels, who are bitter at women. If you want to hurt your chances of finding a wife, be bitter at women. Hate women. You know, we all joke about misogyny and stuff, but it's actually a real problem that there's a lot of young men who just despise women, are bitter at women, are the Andrew Tate types and stuff. That is weak. Okay, that is a weak trait to have. It's just like a leader of a country. A tyrant is a show of weakness. If you have to force people to obey you, that shows how weak you are. If you're a person, a leader that the people love and want to support, you don't have to force them. It's the same thing with men. You should love women, okay? I mean, if you want a wife, like, that's number one. You should love women, and you can love femininity and traditional femininity and still love women and not, be a bitter and angry doomer incel type. But my number one advice to young men is to have friends that are women. Spend time with women. Talk to them. Get to know what are women like. What do they like? What do they enjoy? What traits do they like to see in you? What do they like to see in men and what don't they like? Get some experience talking to women, befriending women without any interest in dating or anything like that. It will help you to actually know how to engage with a girl when you actually like them. And I feel like there's so many guys who grow up, kids who grow up on the computer, in the basement, playing video games. Not that there's anything wrong with, playing games or whatever, but they end up spending all of their time alone or with other men. And then they are clueless when it comes to women. And then they just expect that, like, God's going to bring the right woman in my life. Not if you don't know how to handle it. Not if you don't know how to be attractive to a woman. Not if you don't know how to talk to them. Okay? There's nothing God can do at that point. You know what I mean? Except give you somebody that's also equally broken and awkward. And then, even then, it's just you're handicapping yourself. Go to church. Engage with the people at church. Hang out with people at church. Men and women, befriend them. Talk to them at coffee hour. Make friends. It's really not that hard. But unfortunately, I see a lot of men, they just don't have that advice. And they end up following Andrew Tate into the most weak, gay positions possible. So, if there's any young men here, stop it with the cringe, forced misogyny. Because it's just gay, dude. Like, it's hilarious to make misogynistic jokes. And certainly, we have to push back against the whole girl boss feminist nonsense. But, like, some of the grossest shit I've seen on Twitter and on Facebook from Orthodox Christians just being jerks to women. It's like, that's not Christian.
Yeah, I'm 5 minutes out. What do you mean? I'm here. Don't you see me? Guess what? I won't be there.
You're going to refuse to have sex with men?
I won't be there.
Well, I can safely speak on behalf of 100% of men in saying your terms are acceptable. There's a variation on the trend where they're making themselves deliberately ugly to turn off men.
No. Oh, did you see that? Let's back that one up. That is the face of regret. That is the face of, oh my God, what have I done? Come on. There you go. Look at that. Honestly, I shouldn't laugh. I feel awful for her. This is a traumatic thing for a woman. If any of you women out there have ever gone through this, where maybe you had a negative time in your life and, something happened with your hair, this is something that has a serious mental impact on women, especially women who aren't like well adjusted and don't have like the tools of faith and God to sort of be a bulwark against like depression and mental illness and things like that. Like, I just feel terrible for this girl. I mean, Lord have mercy, dude. What did you do? Where is your father? Shout out to Maddie, dude, sending a $3 super chat. Thank you so much, brother. She looks like me when I shave my head. I'm much better looking, though, of course. Of course. Maddie says, have you checked on Mark Cuban yet? The money... Oh, okay. He said, have you checked on Mark Cuban yet? No, I haven't. Did Mark Cuban actually say anything since the victory? I wonder. Blue Skittle sent in $20. Thank you, Blue. I really appreciate you. Zeezer. They said... Pronouns are monk and e. Thank you so much. Thank you. And no, Maddie, has Mark Cuban actually said anything since the victory? Because I would love to pull that up.
I prefer really not to speak. If I speak, I am in big trouble.
I will not be giving my money to anyone that helps support misogyny and the patriarchy and keeping women down.
It's fine. I'll do it for you.
And making women think that we need to look a certain way or be a certain way or fuck you. Fuck you. Women, fucking stop dating men. Stop having sex with men. Stop talking to men.
Stop acting like you ever did that ever. You're very clearly a lesbian.
Divorce your husbands. Leave your fucking boyfriends. Leave that.
One slight issue with that, to leave your boyfriend or divorce your husband, you have to have one in the first place. Strange how they're promoting abstinency while simultaneously stockpiling abortion pills.
Oh no.
So I've had Scott Mannion on my podcast. I've been...
Okay, let's skip the plug here. Skipping the plug.
Boom. Milk the meltdowns for content, especially given that many of them are so obviously contrived for social media clout. But after careful consideration, I've decided... What?
Yes, that is it.
What the hell, it's still funny, I'm going to do it anyway.
If you've lost faith in humanity, clap your hands. If you've lost faith in humanity, and this is your villain origin story, if you've lost faith in humanity, clap your hands.
can say is
The men are the saddest when we see our fallen brothers doing this, dude. God have mercy, bro. Are you familiar with a lefty streamer named Daniel X Star? No. No. Tell me more, Jason.
fucking dare you.
Not the most attractive bunch, are they?
So I just looked up Daniel X Star, but all the videos are like an hour long. So I'm not putting anybody through that. You know.
Did not win.
But if you have any links for like clips or anything, you know, compilations or something, I'd pull that up.
You won.
Trump. So
Take a breath.
Yep. So today may look a little different at school. Okay, there are probably going to be friends who have questions.
She's talking to them like it's the day after 9/11. Any advice for what workplaces can do to help people who are devastated by the election? Thanks so much.
Fire
Hire
them.
adults. Over on ABC's The View, the cope and seethe was radioactive.
All the fake news that's been going out there. In Finland, kids in nursery school are learning to discern between fake news and real news.
Yeah.
They should be teaching that in this country.
Yeah.
Teach children tolerance. Teach them.
They should teach them how to critically think and analyze facts and information so they never get manipulated or gaslit by old hags like you.
Think critically.
Teach children to think critically by brainwashing infants with leftist dogma in nursery school.
Well, it would help if we could regulate social media, because one of the biggest offenders is DC and Congress have not been able to do one thing.
Because it's America, dude. Get the hell out of here.
Regard to the rogue corporations of social media.
Teach them to think critically by censoring all the information we don't like.
Regulate social media.
I'm going back to my hotel in New York with the Muslim Pakistani American cab driver who voted for Donald Trump because the prices were too high under Biden. Oh no, a brown person didn't fall for my hysteria and based his voting preference on something that actually matters to ordinary Americans. The absolute horror. Meanwhile, some Kamala support.
Oh yeah, I could do that. They probably won't pull the stream down.
Supporters are shocked and disappointed at her for not challenging the election results. 14 million fewer votes than Biden 4 years ago? Like, dude, what about the 20 million unaccounted votes? Not even asking about that and using your rights to call for a recount is so ass. How can you say that when 18 million Democrats who voted in 2020 didn't vote in the election? Did they just fall off the face of the earth? They sure as heck didn't vote for Trump. The numbers don't add up. Something is wrong with this picture. Before accepting this, I'd like someone to explain where the 18 million votes went if we had record registration, record turnout. It's a fair question to ask. Yeah, don't think you'd like the answer. No major riots so far, but thousands of courageous protesters showed up in a UK city to noisily broadcast their righteous anger.
Say it loud, say it clear.
Donald Trump's not welcome here. Yeah, that was neither loud or clear. Come on, guys, we need better content.
All right. Here I got the clip of Trump on The View from back in, what was that, 2011? Let's see here. Let's just see here. Is this gonna screw me? I don't think so.
Logo and a television star, but does he really want to add President of the United States?
Yo, I gotta go to the bathroom, so I'm gonna keep this rolling. I'll be right back.
To his resume, a lot of people would like him to. Please, let's find out, and please welcome my friend, Donald Trump.
Hello, darling. You're right. Hello, baby. How you feeling?
We're so happy to
It's
have
a
you.
lot of
Whenever
kisses.
whenever you're on with us, we're very happy.
Well, we love it.
Okay, so I'm going to take you at your word that you have not decided yet when you're going to run, but you're thinking about it, and you've expressed some of your views, which are controversial, and in many ways, yeah, but
Not to her.
well, not to her. Okay, you're a Republican, so, but let's say that you do decide in the spring, right? And your idea.
These people are so fake, dude. They are so fake, and I know we all know it. Okay, nobody needs reminding that these people are literally valueless, moralless prostitutes who will sell themselves to the highest bidder and support absolutely anything if it means that they get to keep their contracts, they get to keep their daytime talk shows, and they deserve the highest contempt and disrespect possible. But it is funny when you can point to their hypocrisy like this and see them embracing and just loving Trump before they flipped the script and decided he was literally Hitler, bro.
Resonate so much. On the other hand, you know, we saw Newt Gingrich apologizing for his marriages and divorces.
360p, that's all we got, really?
You've had 3 marriages, 2 sort of uncomfortable divorces. Do you think that the...
Not really. They were very comfortable.
Right. We won't review all that. Do you think that the country, that would bother anybody?
I think the country is doing so badly, they want somebody that's going to help it. I think the country is never been in a position like it is right now. It's being ripped off by every nation, every intelligent nation in the world, whether it's China. They're taking our jobs, they're making all our product, and then they loan us back the money, we pay them interest.
That is
whether
crazy.
it's OPEC, which is, I mean, they're having a field day right now. How about the Arab League? They say, we want you to go in and attack Libya. These are the wealthiest countries in the world. Why aren't they paying us?
Okay,
Why?
so
then they changed their minds also.
But you didn't answer my question.
No, I did answer your question. I really think
it won't
people,
matter?
I think maybe 10 years ago it would have mattered, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
The fact is, I think people want somebody now that's going to protect them and protect this country, because we're not going to be a great country for long if we keep going the way we're going right now.
If you
When we have, Barbara.
Oh, you know what? We haven't even mentioned the greatest part of Trump's victory yet. We're going to see less Orthodox Christians killed in Ukraine and Russia. Glory to God, dude. Glory to God. I'm so grateful. And that if Trump's able to end this war, we can finally see the fall of this Nazi regime in Ukraine. We can see the fall of this gay prostitute named Zelensky and his Nazi friends taking over churches. Hopefully we can get our churches back and crush this schismatic group of devils, these frickin' Nazis. Glory to God, dude. Glory to God.
When we have France leading the charge, okay? France, this is our new leader. By the way, they led for about 2 hours. After that, nobody's seen them. I don't know if you know that or not.
geographically, so they
Let me
should.
just ask a follow-up question to that.
Lead is the point.
Let me just ask a follow-up question to that. Let's say you run. You've
Same thing.
given a lot of thought for this. Who would you like as your vice president? Possibly Sarah Palin?
Well,
Sorry, I meant to say same thing to this comment. Same thing.
I think it's far too early even to discuss that. I'm going to make a decision sometime prior to June. I'm thinking about it very strongly.
And yes, hopefully, you know, if Trump listens to the intelligent people that he's got. Oops, hang on. Did I just accidentally close out the stream? Hopefully, if Trump listens to the intelligent people he's got, there will be no Mike Pompeo in this administration. If he does, I won't be surprised. Sad to say, won't be surprised. But hopefully, he's smarter this time around. But he is subject to flattery, and let's just say I don't have the biggest hope on that front.
I think I'd do a really good job. I think I'd protect this country like it's not being protected. You know, it's funny. So many of the things I say, now politicians are saying, hey, that's right.
I don't think he'll do that. I guess we'll see. But I don't think he'll do that. I think based on his statements about how Israel was constantly demanding more and more from him, I think he's wise enough to know that, you know, look, Israel is is just another frickin' country looking for a handout, and he may think that it's of strategic importance to have them as an ally, but I don't think that he's going to be spending as much money as the establishment was in showering Israel with billions. I hope you're wrong too. At the end of the day, it's not my biggest concern. I'm grateful that hopefully we can get these gangs out of my town and these hotels back to actually serving the community and not housing criminals. And hopefully my grandmother can, live in a town that isn't full of rapists and murderers. That was my biggest issue. But I do hope that Mike Pompeo will not be in the cabinet, and I do hope that the Jays don't have a stranglehold. I doubt they will. I really do. He should just make RFK head of the FBI and the CIA after he does his health and saves the whales thing. Yeah, I mean, he should. He won't, but hopefully people like RFK will have a voice to tell him, who to look out for. I think he's got enough people there to be of sound counsel to help avoid some of the past mistakes that he's made. But I think honestly that's not the biggest problem. The biggest problem is going to be this insane, deranged deep state, dude. And all of their tools and all of their assets in the media. They are pretty much the major the opposition we are going up against. Jews were the biggest Trump donors, like Adelson. They gave that money for a reason. I know. We're well aware. We all know that. But, we'll see.
Why don't we...
all right, enough of this. Enough of this. Let's see. One more meltdown video.
Trump won, and it's fair to say they're not taking it very well.
Can't be real.
Over on TikTok, it's not so much cry me a river, more like cry me the Atlantic Ocean.
Alright guys, it's time to go to bed. What in the Alice in Wonderland nightmares is going on right now?
Will they finally learn that calling half the country racist, misogynist isn't a successful political message?
America was not ready for a female black president, and that is what
Randy's asking me, Jared, are you getting the vibes like that this election was too easy? Like there's a trap about to snap? No, not at all. Not at all. The election wasn't too easy. They did get a lot of votes. They made crucial mistakes. There was that sense of justice, like I said, where, in a just world, obviously he would have won. The dude was doing 3 frickin' rallies a day. He was busting his ass. He was putting in the work. He was going on podcasts. He was talking to the American people. He was showing himself and revealing his character. He was almost killed, and he had one of the most badass moments of all time, according to Zuckerberg. He had everything going for him, that he was literally unstoppable in a fair election. He had part of his team and a bunch of allies pushing in the poll watcher front, in the election integrity front. The dude actually did the work, and he busted his ass. It was not easy. He really did do everything possible to win this election, and he would have lost it had they not made the mistake of choosing Kamala. And if Kamala would have done better, if she would have actually had enough respect for the American people that she would actually go out there and talk to them and not lie to their face, she was the worst candidate they could have possibly picked. They were arrogant. They were overly confident. They started to believe their own bullshit, pardon my French, but they started to believe their own lies, that they were this global, unstoppable elite, this unstoppable cabal of vampires. They truly believed that they could not be beat, and so they acted like it. They didn't do the work. They acted like they had it in the bag, and they lost. And I don't think that this is a trap. The main reason is because they're weak. And that's become blatantly obvious in the last couple of months, is that they have never been weaker. So what I imagine is going to happen is they're going to scuttle off into the shadows. brace for impact with the last 2 months they have left in power. They're going to try to Trump-proof as much as possible the government. They're going to try to monkey wrench as much as possible Trump's administration. And they're going to plan and plot and try to find a way to replay the same kind of thing we saw in 2019 with COVID. They're going to try to figure out something they can do to derail Trump as much as possible and prevent him from forever impacting the country in such a way that their power will never get regained. So they're going to try to prevent him from passing the baton, so to speak. They're going to try to probably go after Vance, who everybody assumes is the next in line. They're going to do whatever they can to try to preserve their power that they do have, preserve the wealth that they do have, and plan some way to screw him over. With that being said, Trump can do a lot to help prevent that. Like I said earlier, release the Epstein information, get to the bottom of the child trafficking, seize Bill Gates' assets when he's publicly revealed to be a pedophile and a monster. There's things they can do. Go after these people. Was Michael Bloomberg on the Epstein client list? Who was Epstein providing children to? Who was P. Diddy providing who was providing P. Diddy children? If they can go after that, they could really hamstring and screw over this cabal. I think he will try to do that as much as possible. And if he does, I think we could actually be in a good environment in the next 4 years. If he doesn't, if he allows these vampires to invade his cabinet, if he makes the wrong choices, this could just have delayed the inevitable. But to answer your question, sorry, long way to answer it. No, I don't think that it's a trap. And I think that we really, those of us who are following along and paying attention and all that, I think this campaign and this election cycle was one of the most informative and revealing of my lifetime. It brought us down to earth. It showed us the characters, the players. It showed us how the system works better than ever before. There was much less vagueness, much more real talk and straight talk and transparency. And just personally, it brought me down to earth in a sense that these people they don't have ubiquitous power. For example, some people in my family that are very much, just like me, conspiracy minded. They pay attention to politics very closely. They talk about the weather modification technology that they have. They can influence hurricanes. Interesting. They can, increase the monsoon season in Vietnam and all of this stuff. But then they take it further, and it's it's 69 degrees in Buffalo in November. Why is Bill Gates doing this? It's Bill Gates is not sitting at a computer board pressing buttons. In East Buffalo, it's going to be 57 and overcast, and in West Tennessee, it's going to be 75 and slightly rainy. It's they don't have that much power. Stop giving them that much power in your mind. That is not the way this works. They have tools, and I'm sure they use it. I'm looking at you, North Carolina. But, yeah, HARP, exactly. But, we have this tendency to just give them so much power and to assume that they have total control over everything. And that's just not the way the world works. So we got to stop doing that, dude. These are human beings with limitations. And they met their match this time around. And if it wasn't for Trump himself being the kind of person he is, this would have gone very differently. And if it wasn't for God stopping that bullet from killing him, this would be a very different situation. This country would not have survived. Point blank, would not have survived. There would have been eruptions of civil violence. There would have been civil war pockets breaking out. There would have been people freaking the F out if the GOP didn't gather together some sort of populist candidate to take the place. It would have been bad. And let's say that didn't happen and Kamala won and the establishment kept power, our country would have been over. Okay? The migrants would have flooded in. This country would not survive. Period. At the end of the day, America would not be a superpower in the world anymore. And they would be that much closer to a global government. And it's just that simple. And so I think that God really did, for a reason, kept him alive, because it's not time yet. It's not time for that yet. And so, glory to God for that. I'm grateful. I'm grateful that our country has a little bit longer, hopefully. But my point is that these people are just slaves to their own vices. They're slaves to their own appetites. They're slaves to the devil. They are not gods. They are not demons. They are not. They don't have any sort of, you know, insane power beyond the abilities they have and the tools that they have, like the mainstream media, to manipulate and gaslight. That's the extent of their power, and that's why we won, because that power is draining rapidly due to the information age, due to the internet, due to Elon Musk buying Twitter and allowing narratives to still get out there when they're not establishment approved. And so I wouldn't say it was easy, and I wouldn't say that it's a trap.
I was worried about.
But a trap is coming, guaranteed. We can be assured of that. Assuredly, they will set a trap. They will set a trap if they can. It's really that simple, if they can. And that comes down to, what does Trump do? What does his team do? What do we do? What do we accept? What do we allow them to do? And so, here we go. I hear you, but I fear Agenda 2030 is on the horizon. I don't. I think they've been kneecapped. Again, it will if they can. You know, it will if they can. Trump has said that there will never be a CBDC, ever. You know, in his administration, as much as it is within his power to do so, it will not happen. Obviously, with his whole Bitcoin thing, did you see that Biden sold off half of America's Bitcoin, something like that, because of Trump's statements about Bitcoin? There's a whole bunch of stuff that they are trying to do to decrease his ability to sort of stave off their plans. But you know, I can't say for sure it's not going to happen, but I think it's never looked this good before. And they've never been this weak before. We should set the Bitcoin as the standard for the dollar. We should. I mean, you know, I'm not an expert in Bitcoin. I'm not an expert in economics. But, you know, seeing El Salvador do that was pretty cool. Obviously, you know, it's hard to compare places like El Salvador with America because, you know, it's like the size of New Hampshire or something. You know, it's like it's really small. People talk about like Italy all the time. Like, oh, Italy, they work for 4 hours a day and they, you know, have this and that and their healthcare is so great. It's like, yeah, they're the size of Delaware. Like, that's not the same thing. It's much harder to implement things like that when you have a country so big and, you know, an economy so big and whatnot. But yeah, I don't know. I just, again, I think that the enemy has never been this weak, and we have never been so strong.
Because the country is full of racist misogynists.
Turns out, no.
I just woke up and saw the results. I swear to God, I'm done with you self-hating, disgusting, racist bitches. You'll figure it out, sister. It's okay. Which bitch is her name on TikTok? How fitting.
And you voted for Trump?
Yes.
A felon?
Yes.
Over Kamala?
Sure did.
Because she was a woman?
Yep.
You're
exactly. Did I tell you guys I had an assembly woman show up on the porch the other day? I think I did tell you guys. There was this woman, Monica Wallace, who was running for New York State Assembly, and she was going door to door the day before election. And I was sitting here on the porch. She walked up with some other girl in tow, and she handed me this like piece of paper, and she's like, "Hey, did you vote yet?" And I said, "I already did." And she saw the Trump hat I was wearing, and she was like, "Oh, thank you," and walked away. And I was like, "Damn it! I could have told her, I could have like hooked her in, right? And said like, no, I didn't vote yet. Like, what are you about? Like, let her like give her whole spiel, and then just say, well, I would vote for you, but I just don't think that women should run for or hold elected office. So I'm sorry, I would totally vote for you, but I'm gonna have to pass." So I was really mad that I'm not quick on my feet enough to get that one in.
Disgusting. You're disgusting. What is
for real?
wrong with you? How the fuck are we back in this same situation again? Who the fuck is voting for him?
The majority of the voters in the country voted for him. That's who. You know, Americans. Looks like we're also about to witness the return of the screaming Can someone check in on Harry Sisson? He looked quite smug before the election.
Got it. Go back to school.
Not so smug now.
And
I hope the Biden administration paid you well, buddy. I hope you cashed out there, kid, because good luck.
Harry's terrified about Trump's win being a threat to women.
America failed women tonight.
After just voting and campaigning for a candidate who literally wants men in women's sports and bathrooms. Cenk before the election. If you think Trump is going to win easy tomorrow because everyone you know on X is on his side, you've got a rude awakening coming to you tomorrow. The real world ain't X. Cenk after the election.
Loss after loss after loss. Fire them all! Fire them all!
Turns out the real world is X. White dudes for Harris are used to taking a submissive role, but nothing quite like this.
I can't believe Trump's actually gonna win this fucking thing.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I'm so.
Nobody cares about Boogie.
BC's Jen Psaki failed to learn anything from Dems getting trounced, pushing the same tiresome glib message about disinformation.
I think this is a big, huge part of the story that it's hard to even digest fully at this moment. But you have Elon Musk, who owns Twitter, X, whatever we're calling it these days, X, who is a disinformation propagandist and now has could potentially have a direct line to the Oval Office.
This from the same network that triumphed the credibility of the Seltzer poll, which showed Harris winning Iowa by 3 points. Literally a form of disinformation propaganda. Trump ended up winning Iowa by 14 points. But go on, lecture me for the billionth time about disinformation propaganda.
Disinformation propaganda.
To his credit, Jon Stewart struck a very different.
I wish he could, but Boogie, he can't afford to retire. That guy is such a mess.
Tone, insisting that instead of demonizing Trump supporters, pundits and Democrats need to take a long look in the mirror, while also asserting in a direct message to pollsters, I never want to effing hear from you again. Thanks to Ground News, the sponsor of today's video, which you can check out at ground.news/PJW.
See, I wish I could show the Jon Stewart clip of when he was on Colbert, because you remember Rogan has talked about it a lot lately. That I don't think we'll get away with. Let me pull it up and I'll see if it looks like we can get away with it, but I think they might pull the stream down if I try to play it. But the clip where Jon Stewart was talking about Wuhan lab leak and all that stuff, and then he got in trouble, and then he, had to prostrate himself before the establishment and beg for forgiveness. I'll see if I can play that clip, because it is actually pretty good. Let's skip the plug here. Skipping the plug. Ground News. Skipping it. Let's go. All right.
On the same network, Chris Hayes suddenly decided that the Electoral College system was no longer fit for purpose.
We have this very funky and terrible system called the Electoral College, which decides elections in a way that's totally different than every other election in the United States decided, and the way that anything's decided anywhere else in the world. We should scrap it.
Well, good job that Trump won the popular vote too then, eh, Chris? Meanwhile, over on CNN, it's getting testy. The
economy was so great. That's not the point I'm making. The point, don't look at me like that.
Jake Tapper, probably the biggest media lobbyist for Biden to be replaced by Kamala, got a cold, hard dose of reality.
So you asked, are there any places that the vice president is overperforming Joe Biden in 2020? So we could show you that as well. We just bring that out here. Harris overperforming in 2020.
Holy smokes.
There you go. So let this go away and see if there's anything on the east side there.
Literally nothing?
Literally nothing.
Literally not one county?
The host of the UK's biggest political podcast, centrist neolib cook Rory Stewart, Kamala Harris will win comfortably. Someone frame that tweet for me, please. And while you're at it, frame this as well. Just Stop Oil climate lefties sprayed the US Embassy in London orange to reject fascism. Fascism being when someone they don't like overwhelmingly wins a democratic election. Kamala Harris is so deflated she's mimicked Hillary Clinton's 2016 response by going into hiding.
So you won't hear from the vice president tonight?
But that was ridiculous, dude. I mean, I couldn't believe that, dude. She just no respect for the American people. Ever, dude. Ever. I mean, can you believe it? Hillary Clinton freaking conceded the night of. And Kamala Harris sent everybody home without even addressing them, without even coming out. And the next day, gave this weak little speech about, this faux, inspirational talk. It's just, Man, we dodged a bullet, dude. And also, this just in, breaking news here. Not really breaking, it was at 4 o'clock today, about 2 hours ago, but check this out. Check this out, dog. I formally accept the offer to serve as President Trump's new press secretary. Let's go. Let's zoom in here. We got our homeboy Pop Ewok, AJ, standing in front of the InfoWars mobile. Beautiful, dude. Big if true. Would love to see it. Please make this happen. Make this happen. Make this happen. Come on now. Come on now. Sitting in front row, asking questions and demanding answers. Yeah, but I think, man, I hope he gets some sort of, what'd you call it? Some sort of role, some sort of connection. Jerry, did you see that Kamala's speech was a carbon copy of Hillary's concession speech? I'll send you the link. No, I didn't. Yeah, send it to me on Instagram and I'll pull it up. Man, that would be awesome. That would be so awesome, dude. All right. Anyways, back to what we were doing.
We hilariously learned that her campaign was so crushed by the results coming in.
They say the atmosphere there was like a funeral.
They muted all the TVs besides the ones talking about the states where Kamala won.
But as the night progressed and they watched the returns come in, no more waving flags. In fact, they asked for the television to be muted here with the returns, with the exception of Hawaii, Colorado, other places that Harris won. They turned them on and got cheers for that. Instead, they blasted music to try to sort of distract from the situation.
Which is the political equivalent of sticking your fingers in your ears and going, I'm not listening. Trump's back, MAGA's back. And thanks to the greatest political comeback in history, against all the odds, there's finally hope for America and the world.
Alrighty. Alright, so Randy just sent me something, so let's try to pull that up. Thank you all so much for being here. Please like and share. When the stream is done, you come back and leave a comment on the video. It does help us with the algorithm. Ewok in Chief, yes. Screw you guys, I'm going home. Yes. Our live streams have been getting like no views lately, and it's because I suck and it's my fault. But you know, so any help in the algorithm does help. Thank you all so much for doing that. If you guys want to support the channel, I will read all super chats live. You can contribute to our Winter Survival Fundraiser, formerly known as our Project 2025 fundraiser. All the links are in the chat and in the description. Thank you to everybody who does that. So now let's pull up what Randy sent us. Okay.
Wanted, not what we fought for.
Hang on.
Or
Hang
the
on.
outcome of this election is not what we wanted, not what we fought for, not what we voted for.
This is not the outcome we wanted or we worked so hard.
Absolutely. Welcome, Ty2048. Everybody go follow Ty2048 over on YouTube. He's the guy that does our intro song. He makes a lot of really good music. Ty, I was talking the other day on our last stream, the day before the election, about the sort of controversy over funk Orthodox edits. I'm sure you've seen this. It's become this thing. And luckily, I'm not really in Discord, servers and Orthodox chat rooms and stuff. But I've seen people like post about it and complain about how, these like what do they call them? Like the Hyperborea funk edits where people are like playing, super upbeat techno music and showing images of saints and like become Orthodox. And it's become like this like controversial thing where people are making fun of the ortho bros, like they'll freak out when they walk into a church and not hear techno. It's just so lame, dude. People always got to make a problem out of everything. I don't see anything wrong with people making cool videos and like liking orthodoxy. They think it's cool and they infuse it with this aesthetic and try to make it appealing to people. I don't think it's an abuse of holy images. It all depends on the intention and actually like what they do. Like obviously if they disrespectfully treat icons or images of iconography, I think it's bad. But I don't know. I just thought it was so lame, like how people they just complain and argue and always take things to the furthest extremes of this is, evil, this is bad, this is unorthodox, or I don't get it, dude. So I feel like you're the perfect guy to ask since you make funk music. Personally, I'm not a fan, but the truth is, many haven't spoken to the young people showing up at churches. That's very true. They all say, I saw a TikTok when asked how they found Orthodoxy. Very good point. We have one of my good brothers in Christ at my own parish found Orthodoxy through TikTok. And I had never heard that before. I mean, I didn't even know there was like a Orthodox presence on TikTok. I always see like the funk edits and stuff on Instagram. I'm not on TikTok, but you know, he was telling me he saw like Orthodox influencers, basically people like talking about the faith, and that's how he found it. But I have heard a lot of people say that like nobody talks to the new converts and to people who just show up, especially certain kinds of parishes, ethnic parishes especially, where you're actually like, you get the vibe like you're not wanted and you're not welcome. I think that's a real problem. And we've certainly seen in the last 6 years that we've been doing this, all the controversy about ortho bros and this like fear of new converts coming in and stuff. I think it's a mess, but you know, luckily at our parish, we have such a tight-knit community. New people come in and they're embraced and they're taught, you know, we sit down, talk to them, you know, treat them with love and care. And, you know, that kind of harkens back to what I was saying in the beginning of the stream, which is that we have to take that responsibility seriously to be good Christians, to love our brothers, to love our neighbors, to love our enemies, and to really like take the responsibility on us that we have to be the best men we can be. We have to be the best Christians we can be. And that if we want to see the ripple effect, if we want to see the, you know, change in our communities and our country, that comes from us. That doesn't come from our leaders. It doesn't come from men being put on pedestals, but it comes from us and what we do and how we treat others and affect others. So the Brazilian Orthodox guys are modern evangelists. Few understand this, making all the edits. I've never heard of them. Okay, I'll check that out. Thank you. Brazilian Orthodox guys. Okay, I'll check that out.
Hard for.
Earlier today, I spoke with President-elect Trump and congratulated him on his victory. I also told him that we will help him and his team with their transition.
Last night,
No,
I
thank you.
congratulated Donald Trump and offered to work with him on behalf of our country.
Over the 107 days of this campaign, we have been intentional about building community and building coalitions, bringing people together from every walk of life and background.
We've spent a year and a half bringing together millions of people from every corner of our country to say with one voice that we believe that the American dream is big enough for everyone.
To the young people who are watching, it is okay to feel sad and disappointed, but please know it's going to be okay.
To the young people in particular, I hope you will hear this.
On the campaign, I would often say, when we fight, we win. But here's the thing,
You lost.
Sometimes the fight takes a while. That doesn't mean
You've been fighting for 10 years. Give it up.
we won't win. That doesn't mean we won't win.
Give it up.
This loss hurts, but please never stop believing.
This woman, dude, she really does idolize Hillary Clinton. She copied her bogus accent game. She's copied her speeches. This isn't the first time she copied her speech, too. I mean, this is like a recurring thing. The woman doesn't have a brain cell in her head. She just can't be creative. I mean, I guess it's true what they say. The devil can't create. They can only corrupt and copy. And incredible. Absolutely incredible. Oh, yeah. So Radiohead walked off the stage because somebody said Free Palestine. That's hilarious. Tom was big mad and told him to come on stage and say it to his face. Tom York is so cringe, dude. And it makes me sad because, like, man, I used to love Radiohead, dude. I mean, they got such bops, dude. Such bops. It was either copying or using GPT-4. Yes, it probably was using GPT-4. I keep freaking clicking the light. Damn it. Yo, I'm back from my walk and we're still live. Nice. Yeah, dude, we had a Made by Jim Bob raid. We're sitting pretty at 50, 60 viewers. It's fun. What a creep. I mean, he did try to tell us, okay? He did try to warn us. That's only fair to acknowledge. He tried to warn us, so it's really on us for not seeing it sooner.
That fighting for what's right is worth it.
All right. Anyways. Anywho. I don't know what else there is to say. I mean, I got another article I pulled up about Biden talking about how, let's see. I'll pull it up. I forget what it was about. Biden faces doubts over his legacy as he prepares to hand over power to the man he called a threat to democracy, the man he called literally Hitler, the man he called garbage, the garbage man himself. Biden, you should have thought about your legacy a long time ago, dude, because it's honestly sad what they've done to him. And, oh, good, that reminds me, I wanted to touch on this. Hunter Biden, right? I'm sure you guys have seen Tim Dillon talk to J.D. Vance. I'm sorry, Big Gay talk to J.D. Vance and say, oh, we should pardon Hunter. I think Tucker even said we should pardon Hunter. Trump should not pardon Hunter Biden. Trump should not get involved in any way in the Hunter Biden trial. I think, look, Trump is not persecuting Hunter. The government is not being weaponized against Hunter. It is very simple. He broke the law, and laws matter. Law and order is important. Just because you are related to a freaking politician does not give you carte blanche to do whatever you want. All right? I feel bad for Hunter. I understand addiction's a strong demon to fight. But the fact is, if you break the law, you should have to face the consequences. A huge problem is this freaking two-tier system of justice that we have. This huge problem is rules for thee and not for me. And so I'd be very disappointed if Trump got involved in any way in the Hunter Biden prosecution. I think, you know, at the end of the day, yeah, it might look bad to go after family members of politicians and go after people, but that's not what's happening here. This case was brought, you know, outside of a Trump administration, and it's ridiculous. It's freaking ridiculous, dude. Don Jr., months before Trump got shot, said we have to fight fire with fire. You know, the Republicans are weak. The GOP is weak. They're never willing to actually hold the enemy accountable for the crimes they commit. I would like to see that. But if you can't even do that, don't freaking stand in the way, okay? So I would be incredibly disappointed if they pardon Hunter Biden. Hunter might be the nicest, funnest guy in the world. Who knows? Doesn't matter, dude. He broke the law, and he should have to face the consequences. He got rich off of selling out our country, and it's not freaking cool. And they deserve to be tried for freaking treason, but since that's never going to happen, obviously the best thing that could happen is when they commit crimes in public, let justice take its course. Anyways, Hunter being arrested was leverage to get Joe to drop out of the race. No way the law enforcement would have done it without political motive. Agreed. And it's just sickening to me as an American that our justice system is so freaking biased and corrupt that these people get away with murder. I mean, he sold our country out to China. It's just they engaged in influence peddling and all of these things that are just so freaking harmful to us, and they just get to live these lavish lives. It's frustrating, man. What's the point of a justice system if laws don't mean anything? Worst sad song ever made. Just came up with it. What are you guys talking about? Anyways, yeah, that's frustrating. So Biden here, I really think, sorry, Joe, like, I really appreciate all the help that you gave us winning this election. And the wearing the Trump hat was key. Calling us garbage was key. And you will not convince me that that wasn't on purpose. I really do think it was on purpose. I think that with what little cognition he had left, he knew. He knew if he said that we were garbage, that it would help Trump. He certainly signaled with that MAGA hat. And, you know, so thank you, Biden. But that being said, it's just depressing what they did to this man. You know, they just made a joke out of him. And his legacy is terrible. He will go down in history as the worst president we've ever had. Somebody that just sold us out, you know, empowered our enemies, ruined this country, and almost destroyed it completely. There is no legacy. Your legacy is tainted and tattered from the get-go. And so he doubts over his legacy. Yeah, you should have thought about that beforehand. You should have served the people that you took an oath to serve instead of serving yourself. You should have served the people in all of your years in politics rather than enriching yourselves. But, I'm sorry, big guy. I'm sorry, big guy, but it's not looking good for the legacy. And yeah, as for calling him a threat to democracy, all these people have been saying that for weeks and weeks and weeks, months and months, years and years. He's a threat to democracy. He's literally Hitler. And now, the day after the election, 2 days after the election, they're trying what they can to tone down the rhetoric and whatnot. In some cases, you're seeing that. In some cases, they haven't learned anything at all. Good to see you, Base Beard. Welcome, welcome. Elder abuse. Yes, exactly. It is great that we will barely ever see Biden or Kamala again. It really is, dude. We dodged a bullet big time. Thank God, man. Thank God. All right. So before we wrap up, I'm going to plug the Super Chat links one more time. I want to make sure I read all of them before we leave. I think we're caught up now. Guys, if you want to support the channel, all Super Chats will be read live. Link is in the chat in the description. It is our Project 2025 fundraiser for today. All proceeds go to help a racist, misogynist, literally a homophobe, and we will make sure that no gays is happening around here. How do you feel about Vance? Absolutely. He has my full support. He has my full confidence. Honestly, I think that throughout this campaign, Vance has upstaged Trump in every way, and I love that. Now, obviously, I don't agree with him on everything. Obviously, I don't. There's just nobody that you're ever gonna find that you're 100% in agreement with. But yeah, he says seems based to me. He seems based to me as well. He believes in God. He lives his faith. Wish he wasn't Roman Catholic, but hey, better than nothing. Better than an atheist degenerate. And every time that Trump did a podcast, Theo Von, Rogan, Vance came in afterwards and did a better job. Better job than Trump in every regard. So he has my full confidence that he will make the right choices. I don't have hope in him. I don't have trust in him in the terms of, I could see him selling out. I could see him letting us down, just like everybody has their price. Everybody has their weak spots. But I do think that he's not a pedophile. I don't think he's a blood drinker. I don't think he's a goblin. And hopefully he's not blackmailable. And so I think that's good. I think Trump picked the best person he could have possibly picked, other than just like people who wouldn't be as electable. It would have been nice to see him pick somebody who has a long track record of being based, but they're not electable. People like Alex and Tucker and whatnot. So I think it looks good. It was terrifying that Marco Rubio was listed as a possible potential vice president. What the hell is going on there? Marco Rubio talking at Trump rallies before the election. What the hell, dude? Did we forget Marco Rubio calling for the censorship of Trump supporters? Have we forgotten that? Marco Rubio is a freaking goblin, dude. He needs to stay the hell away from the Trump administration. Just stay away. Nikki Haley, stay away. All of you, you're done. You fired. You're done. Stay away. Yeah, exactly. Lil Marco. Alex Jones getting frickin' deplatformed and censored, and Marco Rubio standing there with a smug look on his face. God forbid, dude. I don't know what people are thinking, but hopefully that was just a signal to keep the establishment at bay. Like, oh, maybe we have a chance of getting in the Trump administration. Maybe, it's hard to say. It's hard to say because Trump has certainly done things throughout this campaign which were like strategic, I think, to sort of try to let the enemy put their guard down a bit. Rubio is a great BS artist. I got to give him that. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, dude. Oh, well. We will see what happens. As I said, my hope is in the Lord. My hope is in Christ. I'm not going to sit here and hope. I'm going to hope for the best, but I'm going to focus on God. I'm going to put politics on the back burner now. We got the victory. We averted disaster. And now I'm just going to let him do the job. You know, I believe that he will do the best job he can do that's within his power. And our fate is in God's hands. At the end of the day, this country could go into a golden age or it could have been burned to the ground. Either way, we're all going to die. Either way, we're going to face judgment. We're going to face Christ. And we're going to have to answer for our lives. And in the moment of our death, we're not going to care who's president. We're not going to care what the economy is doing. We're not going to care how much money we have in the bank or how much possessions we own. All we're going to care about is, have we acquired the energies of God? Have we acquired unity with God? Have we walked away from sin and, achieved virtue? And so that's what I'm going to make my focus. And I hope you guys do the same. I hope you guys go to church and become Orthodox Christian. Live a sacramental life. Read the lives of the saints. Read the scriptures. Pray every day. Build a relationship with your parish, with your priest, with your friends and family and brothers and sisters in Christ. Pray for our country. Pray for safety, security, peace, prosperity, discernment, remembrance of death, remembrance of our sins, understanding of God's law, strength, peace, virtue. Pray for the right things, and hopefully, by God's grace, this country will enter into a stable and peaceful, prosperous time. And honestly, I have a lot of hope, but I have tempered, cautious optimism. And so we got to just, if you're new to this, if you're new to politics, God bless you, good luck. That roller coaster ride, this is 8-9 years down the road for me, and I'm just ready to set it down for a little bit. So, yeah. God bless you guys. Thank you, Kira. Thank you. Our home girl sent in a $25 super chat. Thank you so much. I don't think she put any message in there. So thank you so much, Kira. I really appreciate you. And I look forward to having our chill midnight radio streams again. Relax, listen to some cool ass radio stories, and I hopefully America will do just fine. America will be Orthodox in 7 years if everyone attends vigil every Saturday. Great message, absolutely. Attend vigil, attend the Vespers, attend the weekday services, and attend, of course, our holy liturgy, our Eucharistic liturgy on Sunday. Live the Christian life. If you acquire the spirit of peace, thousands around you will be saved. If you want to see America become Orthodox, you have to become Orthodox. And that's the way we do it. God works through us, and we have to get our free wills in alignment with God and in synergy with God. And He will work miracles. He will work wonders through you. So glory to God, everybody. Let's try to unify the country. Let's try not to argue in Facebook chats and freaking YouTube chats. Try not to be jerks to the liberals losing their minds. We got to calm them down. My people in my own life, people who would have been screaming in the streets in 2016, voted for Trump this time around because we calmly talked, because I let them hear Trump in his own words. These people, they see a picture of Trump and they get filled with rage and hatred because a caricature has been built in their mind. And the solution to that, of breaking that illusion, is the truth, is reality. Trump is not perfect. I got a lot of issues with the guy, but if you just see him as he is, it's going to break the illusion that they've built. And so that's our job, guys. We got to help these people. We got to speak truthfully and calmly and patiently with them and help them. They've been manipulated. They've been gaslit. And so it's up to us. We can help them. And so just be patient and love them. And hopefully we will see a more united country soon. Guys, thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for supporting the channel. If you're watching this after the fact, do appreciate all of the Survival Fundraiser donations and help. It does keep me fed, and so I truly, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate you guys. God bless you. Pray for each other and pray for me. And until next time, Lily Walk signing off. Peace out. God bless and good night. And go check out Tristan and Jay Dyer live in a couple of hours. Peace, y'all.